After 7 frozen months, the world turned numb, as if sealed by eternal frost. Steel boots scraped the ice, a snow-covered man collapsed in exhaustion. His companion kept walking, silent as a ghost. Each breath vanished like smoke in winter air. He lowered his goggles, muttering, "Never scouted here. Food and fuel are worth more than gold now." Beneath hazy ice lay sunken towers he checked thick enough to cross. As he stepped forward, the ground quaked like it wanted to swallow him whole. Panic hit. "We're doomed an earthquake," he shouted. The cruel cold felt like nature's curse, warning of civilization's fragility. Ice split in two. He clung to one side, heart pounding wildly. He jammed a hook into the ice, praying it would hold. But the hook slipped, control vanished. He plunged, crashing onto a snow-covered store roof, rolling hard. Sitting up, thankful for the soft snow, he chuckled. Survived the trial, earned some luck. His smile froze as he looked up. A pair of eerie eyes with 3 blue pupils glared from the dark. Razor-sharp teeth gleamed inside a snarling maw. A predator lurked, waiting to strike. He stared, wide-eyed in disbelief. Fate mocked him no more second chances. He bolted, but the beast chased fast, cornering him. Gasping, he knew this was the end. Icy stalactites trembled from the chase's roar. The monster closed in, eyes gleaming with hunger. A crackling blast, an icicle pierced its body, killing it instantly. Relieved, he barely breathed before the ice began breaking again. A bitter laugh escaped him at the cruel irony. This land really has no mercy. He screamed as the ice beneath him collapsed. His body was sucked into a freezing underground pipe. Icy water tore through his flesh, making him shiver violently. A strange creature crawled near unlike anything known. It rejoiced at his presence and merged with him to end its loneliness. His eyes changed, glowing with an unnatural hue. They now mirrored the same pale blue as the creature's. He stood frozen, mind tangled in confusion. Touching his neck, he felt pain, but couldn't find the parasite clinging there. Steadying himself, he lit a weak flashlight through the thick darkness. He murmured head wandered too long, then spotted a frozen chocolate bar. Smirking faintly, he grabbed it and prepared to climb up. The surface world remained an icy grave. Only the sewers offered return. Dropping a rope deep down, he gazed upward, wondering when the nightmare would end. Thinking of his comrades battling hunger and cold, his heart tightened inside. The shelter felt even more suffocating than outside. Their icy stares pierced him, dissecting every breath. With trust eroded by scarcity, no one could predict another's reaction. In this frozen world, reason and savagery were separated by a blink. Merging into the crowd, he slipped away, waiting for a safe time to return to base. Before the familiar membered door, he knocked twice. The door opened instantly. A girl beamed, welcoming him home. Surprised, he asked, "You didn't hesitate? It's freezing out there." She hugged him tightly, as if Shed waited forever. Her honey-sweet voice whispered she just wanted to see him sooner. Teasing, she asked if he hadn't missed her, making him laugh at her usual charm. He warned her carefully about safety, but she pouted, feeling second to a lock. Chuckling, he proudly pulled a small gift from his pack. She tilted her head, curious. "What's that?" he replied softly. "Chocolate." She squealed with joy, hugging him like Shed received treasure. As he unpacked, she eyed the meager loot. Disappointed, he sighed and recounted his peril. No one seemed to notice his weary shoulders or worn backpack. She coldly split the candy bar, showing no sympathy. Before a weak flame, he sat in silence, burdened by hunger's weight. He held a pouch of saved seeds, dreading the thought of eating them. To eat them was to abandon the future entirely. If this goes on, well, turn into beasts, he thought grimly. If their meat weren't toxic, maybe we'd be fine, he muttered. He dropped a lump of fat into the stove. Flames flared, at least fuel remained. In this frozen hell, at least I'm alive. He wrote 142, 1606, Valentine's Day. He froze, realizing he'd forgotten something crucial. He sprang up, called the girl's name, no answer. A familiar voice echoed outside, breaking his confusion. His face flushed. The timing of that strange signal made no sense. He dashed out, shouting her name in panic. Suddenly, a club smashed his head before he could react. He crashed to the floor, clutching his skull in shock. A stranger entered, laughing loudly, wishing him a happy festival. The man embraced the girl, boasting about the surprise reunion. Slumped against the wall, he screamed in rage and pain. "Why betray me? Why him?" She pointed accusingly, mocking his naivety. "Did you think a candy bar could move me?" DeLong swaggered beside her as she berated him, exposing his hidden food and sneering at his empty pack. The man slammed his club down, sneering, "You're the kind of man who shames the rest of us." He panted heavily, eyes glinting with the intent to kill. "This world has no morals, only strength. You can't feed her, so why would she stay? Submit to the strong or be crushed the weak. Get no choice." He laughed bitterly, asking, "So where's my food then?" The man sneered, saying he was unlucky to love such a woman. He screamed in despair, "I have no supplies at all." The bat rose high, the man's murderous glare flaring. "Want follow the strong? Then be eaten," he barked. Panic-stricken, he shouted, "What are you doing?" The bat struck his leg, snapped with a sickening crack. The next blow smashed his face, teeth scattering across the floor. His arm throbbed, bruised and burning with agony. The mob swarmed like beasts, beating him and tearing the room apart. One yelled, "Just rotten seeds, nothing edible." The man sneered coldly. "Small fish or not, meat's still meat. Bring him here." In a daze, he felt himself dragged toward slaughter, their wicked smiles all he could see. Helplessness closed in like his worst nightmare. "I can't die yet. I must live to avenge this." The parasite inside him sensed the hatred igniting. A chilling voice whispered, "Good, let me help you survive." In the quiet, dim light spread softly across the desk. He jolted awake, drenched in sweat, shouting his enemy's name. But the room was empty, only his breath echoed. Looking around, he froze unharmed, whole. What just happened? Outside, the city gleamed with lights and crowds as if disaster never came. But he knew within 2 days, it would all freeze forever. Night fell, the final lights flared. The countdown showed 1 day left. Powerful convoys rolled out from restricted zones under tight escort. In luxurious towers, parties blared, drowning out dread. In the slums, dark corners, black market trades quietly continued. The surface seemed calm, yet doom loomed unseen. One man stood silent, Mo, the only one who knew what was coming. Green auroras shimmered overhead, people snapped photos, unaware it marked the world's end. His phone buzzed violently, he frowned, who could be calling now? The name on the screen made his heart clench, Min, the traitor, reaching out again. The memory of her leaning on another man, saying coldly, "I just chose to survive," seared his mind. He snarled, "Fake woman, how could I ever love you?" His face darkened, he hit speaker, ready for battle. Her voice came, pretending casual. "You still up? Seen the aurora? Gorgeous?" "Huh?" She played sweet again before switching tone. "Send me money, I maxed my credit limit." Momo replied flatly, "We're done. Don't call again." Ignoring her protests, he hung up without hesitation. Without a blink, he deleted her contact eyes void of all emotion. He thought quietly, if fate gave me one more chance. His gaze hardened. Women like her deserve to be buried in ice. In Balukalin, Brooklyn, all was eerily calm. At 2358, day 146, Momo stood tense as wire, vowing not to repeat the tragedy. He scanned his memories, yes, same as before, and muttered, 28 hours left till the end begins. The cold would soon tear order apart, plunging humanity into chaos. With only an hour left, he listed essentials, food and weapons. He packed quietly, every motion wary, survival now mattered most. 2 cops appeared, eyeing him suspiciously. One muttered, "Looks shady. Wandering at this hour?" The other smirked, "Let me handle it." The fat officer stepped out, barking, "Freeze! Don't move!" Both drew guns, shouting, "Hands up now." Momo obeyed, but cursed inwardly. This area's gone mad, they think he's a thief. The blonde called dispatch, while the fat one demanded, "What's in your hand?" He answered calmly, "Just a phone, sir." He glanced at the clock, midnight. He gritted his teeth. No time to play games with fools. Still, he stayed cooperative, hoping for a quick end. The fat cop lectured the rookie, "Don't approach suspects till they're checked." "Got it?" The rookie trembled, asking, "What's in the bag?" "Take it out." He smiled faintly, removing his backpack. "I'm a delivery guy, just food." He reached in, pulling out an iPad with deliberate care. The rookie screamed, "Weapon!" He's got a weapon. Panic-stricken, he pulled the trigger. The bullet shot forth death in motion. Time froze. "Damn it, not like this," he thought. "A second chance? Wasted already?" "No. I refuse." His eyes widened, every nerve stretched to the limit. A strange blue glow burst from his body, shaking the air. The rookie screamed in terror. Momo suddenly saw the bullet's path, every frame in perfect slow motion. He twisted aside, dodging it by a hair. It wasn't illusion, it was real. Facing the shooter, he roared, "Idiot! I pay taxes for you morons, and you shoot innocents?" He bellowed. "I've got no time for brainless pigs like you." The rookie, panicked, fired again. The shell clinked uselessly to the floor. Strangely, the bullet's metal casing froze solid midair. Momo lunged like lightning. His punch sent the rookie flying like a rag doll. The fat cop stared, terrified, then bolted as his partner lay limp. He tripped, screaming, "What the hell are you? What did you do to him?" Hand shaking, he pointed his gun. Mo advanced slowly, glowing with eerie light. One eye burned crimson. Through clenched teeth, he hissed, I'm asking myself the same thing. Above, the city lights faded beneath violent auroras, the unmistakable sign of the coming freeze. The cop collapsed, crying into his radio. "Officer down. We're under attack. Weapon stolen," he stammered. "Suspect, fleeing armed. Shaking," he muttered. "Today's cursed ghosts, I swear." Mo vanished into the alleys like a phantom drifting through the cold. He stopped before a familiar door, the place once called home. Stepping inside, he collapsed to the floor, utterly spent. He gasped for air, heart pounding like it would burst. Was that real? He wondered, dizzy. How did I do that? He eyed the gun, suspicion flickering. What if I try again? He aimed it at the mirror, facing his own reflection. Then, without hesitation, he pulled the trigger. A blue flash burst before his eyes. A strange energy surged. This power was real. He instantly shifted, touching the bullet before it hit the mirror. It rested in his palm. He grinned. Got it. Looking down, pale bone-like armor shimmered on his skin. I saw this before, tied to my power? He compared this speed rivaled a supersonic jet. He clenched the bullet, feeling raw strength pulse through his hand. A smirk curved his lips satisfied, though it wasn't destructive power. But in a dying world, being one step ahead was enough. Suddenly, loud knocking shattered the silence. He squinted. Who visits now? Frowning, he opened the door. His landlady stood there, anxious. She asked, Xiaomo, was that a gunshot just now? He scratched his head, stammering, TV noise. Ma'am. Remote's busted. She sighed in relief. Good. Heard. The nearby market got robbed. Scared me. She turned to leave. He called. Sorry for the trouble. Thanks for checking. She smiled kindly. Take care of yourself. Don't overwork. Momo slammed the door shut. The sound echoed like a gavel. Uneasiness lingered, he reminded himself. Focus on supplies first. Slumping to the floor, he recalled her words, the market nearby. Could be my chance. He smirked, eyes gleaming slyly. Time to stock up. Scene cut inside the market. A drowsy cashier fought sleep. Momo appeared like a ghost, sweeping up essentials in seconds. In a blink, he warped out, vanishing from the cameras entirely. The receipt printer erupted, spitting pages wildly. The cashier jolted awake, pale. She grabbed the pile, confused. Did someone just shop? On it scrawled, Don't be afraid. Go home and stay safe. She frowned, mumbling. What the heck? Her eyes reddened. A thief and a lunatic? Just my luck. Then two Asian youths entered. One glanced around, hand under his shirt, clearly trouble. She froze, sensing danger. The blue-haired one drew a gun. Hands on the counter. Now, he yelled. Time to cash out. Hand over the money. Move it, brat, he barked again. Outside, a strange shadow crept toward the door. Suddenly, his gun began frosting over, ice spreading fast. Glass exploded as a massive foot kicked the door apart. Freezing air sealed the room in seconds. Why is it so cold? The blue-haired man stammered. His partner screamed, Dude, look at the door! He spun around. What the? A towering 3-meter monster loomed, its body covered in faces and gaping mouths with razor teeth, grotesque beyond belief. The blue-haired man went white, shrieking. Holy shit, what the hell is that? His partner trembled, firing wildly at the creature. The bullets passed clean through, no wounds, no pain. Both howled. It's not dying. It's not dying. The creature's twisted arm shot out, gripping the blue-haired man's neck instantly. It let out a guttural shriek, like hell itself screaming. Without hesitation, it tore off his face, blood sprayed everywhere. The sound of ripping flesh made stomachs churn. The cashier collapsed, trembling, raising her phone to film the horror. The monster devoured the man, leaving her frozen in terror. Scene cut inside a police station. Officers scrolled lazily through live streams. New video from the kids, pretty fun, one said. Suddenly, the feed cut off. Startled, one shouted, Huh? Looks like a government alert. Loudspeakers blared. Attention, citizens. The two cops barely cared. An alarm, huh? Must be serious, one muttered. As sirens echoed, Momo pushed open the heavy door to an underground room, face cold as ice. He exhaled softly, eyes closed. It's begun. Temperature plummeted, frost spread through every corner. The speakers warned, Unknown cold current entering the city. Stay indoors and keep warm. The first zone hit Balukalin. The ice storm had arrived. In a small flat of Zone 58, the radio blared, Citizens, attention. At the surveillance post, the fat cop murmured, Is this a national emergency? The other shrugged. Nah, just weird weather again. The broadcaster tried to sound calm. Do not panic. Momo clenched his fists white, eyes burning. No mistakes this time. Sirens wailed as he moved into action. The speaker repeated, Due to extreme cold, stay home. Seal windows and preserve heat. Elsewhere, a mob boss interrogated a bloodied captive, cigarette dangling. Still not talking, huh? The bound man trembled, stuttering. I don't know anything, the boss sneered, pulling out a photo. Don't know? Then what's this? You drugged the boss daughter? You've got guts, kid, the captive stammered. I swear I didn't know. The boss' eyes darkened. He drew a knife slowly. Trash like you better pray. He pinned the man's hand to the table, gaze cold as steel. The blade flashed in the dim room. Blood splattered like crimson rain. He calmly gathered his trophies, arranging severed fingers in a box like rare collectibles. 5, 6, perfect, he muttered. Brushing off his hands, he said coldly, burn the evidence. No furnace here? He ordered flatly. Throw him in. The captive, bagged like garbage, was dragged toward the incinerator. A thug smirked. Bon voyage. One grumbled. Old furnace like this might explode if we toss a body in. The other snapped. Shut it, Longa is waiting. Suddenly one shouted, wait, something's wrong! The furnace shook violently, then exploded. A thug was hurled like a sack. Others rushed to help, pale. Damn it, you're cursed. Meanwhile, Momo was hard at work finishing his homemade equipment in the shelter. He leaned back, exhaling the hydroponic system was complete. Looking around the supply-packed room, he murmured, good start, but not enough for long-term survival. Gazing at the aurora outside, he knew without growing food, no one would live through this. The clock read 141 a.m. The glacial system had run for an hour. Momo muttered, need to hurry. No time for hesitation. Each passing second drained life away. A sudden, frantic knock echoed. He frowned. Who could it be now? Opening the door, a strange sense of déjà vu washed over him. Outside stood a chubby guard and the coffee-addicted guy. Mr. Lin, sorry to bother you. Momo narrowed his eyes. What's the emergency? Radio says the temperature's dropping fast, and the heating's out. He frowned. Since when? The man nodded. We thought residents should know. He recalled same as last week, when the failure crashed the whole system. Clenching his fist, eyes blazing, he said, take me there, I can fix it. The guard brightened. Really? That's great. Door 408 closed behind them, leaving only urgency. As he turned toward the furnace hall, an older man blocked him. Mr. Lin, where to? He frowned. Isn't the heater that way? Old Du shook his head, leading them down to the basement incinerator. Momo halted. Something felt off. It didn't match Mrs. Fang's account. He followed the two guards, unsure if his memory betrayed him. The basement's biting cold made one guard grumble. Old Du asked for help while Momo scanned the fog-filled room. He checked the furnace, murmuring, everything looks fine. Suddenly, his hand brushed a slick, icy liquid. Alarm bells rang. One guard noticed his tense face. Unaware death crept from behind. A monster struck, blowing the guard's head apart in a gore-filled blast, dragging the corpse away. It devoured the body whole. Old Du screamed in horror. Momo glared at the creature as his body glowed with strange light. He activated his power, yanking Old Du clear in a flash. The beast's attack missed by inches. Momo gasped, shaken but alive. He spotted the open emergency door. Hope flared, but the creature charged, roaring thunder behind him. He froze. Its speed matched his own. It lunged, jaws gaping to swallow them both. He realized carrying Old Du was slowing him down. With no choice, he decided to let the man go. He hurled Old Du toward the exit, ensuring his safety. That door was the only path to survival. Old Du rolled out, terrified and trembling. Thankfully, Momo had thrown him in time, saving his life by a hair. Turning back, Momo's face tightened as the beast closed in. It slammed the ground, shaking the room with flying debris. His breath crystallized in the freezing haze. The creature mumbled something eerie, eyes bulging grotesquely. He noticed its speed dropped when Old Du was farther away. Analyzing quickly, he recalled it caught him only while he carried the man. But once he let go, his speed surged. Its power seemed limited by proximity. The monster roared again, its regenerating fingers stretching forward. Momo suspects the power limit is tied to Mr. Du, not the pale man. He recalls that after he let go, Mr. Du emitted a power similar to his own. He wonders if there's a hidden link and starts examining the floor. An idea flashes in his mind when he spots the rubble. He finally grasps the secret that made humanity flee last week. Everything changed since he unconsciously picked up those stones. His lips curl. Even the weak can become the hunter now. He spins swiftly, channeling force into his palm. His eyes gleam with a blade-like chill. With a fierce throw, the stone spirals through the air and pierces the monster. He exhales, confirming his earlier theory was right. The scene proves his ability only triggers when an object carries special energy. When activated, even a pebble can hit like artillery. Suddenly, a faint blue light flickers in his gaze. A strange blue liquid seeps from holes on his face. He stares at his palm in shock. His blood has changed color. Terror takes over as his body begins to tremble violently. Agony crushes him, he collapses, vomiting blue fluid as if his body's imploding. His consciousness fades while staring at his trembling hands. Cold engulfs him, slicing deep into every cell. As he nears blackout, Mr. Dusk's voice calls his name. The call echoes endlessly as his eyes close into despairing darkness. Struggling to open his eyes, he sees Mr. Du shouting about the storm and not reaching the hospital in time. Mr. Du orders windshields as ice seals the door, while a girl suspects he's poisoned. A hazy voice beside him murmurs thanks and begs him to wake. Miss. Fang arrives. Mr. Du reports his condition but is cut off and told to act fast. In his haze, he dimly sees a strange man asking to approach his body. Rushed voices echo Mr. Du, and a doctor filled with worry. A freezing sensation spreads as the doctor notes his abnormally low temperature. In a recording, the doctor logs young male, possible poisoning, still unconscious. Momo lies still. Veins bulging, odd vital signs noted by the doctor. The female doctor stares in disbelief, unable to explain it. Examining his blood, she's intrigued by something unprecedented. Before centrifuging, it looked normal, but afterward it split into a bizarre blue layer. She glances at the bed, thinking she'll need time to decode this strange blood. Looking closer, she mistakes his veins for normal, then spots signs of a mutative allergy. Suddenly, Momo's eyes snap open. He stares blankly at the ceiling, then struggles upright with a bursting headache. Turning to the doctor, he stammers for her name and is warned not to move. She lights a cigarette, laughing carelessly like nothing matters. She admits she's an unlicensed doctor, hiding her identity for personal reasons. With a teasing smirk, she calls herself Dr. Chu for convenience. She leans closer, eyes curious as if mapping every inch of his body. Sitting beside him, she deliberately blows smoke in his face and presses him about the basement incident. Her face gleams with excitement, like finding a rare toy. Meanwhile, Brooklyn is buried under ice as a brutal blizzard rages. Dr. Chu cites medical data, explaining humans can't survive extreme sub-zero cold. She stresses that below 32°C, fatal heart rhythm failure can occur. At temperatures under 13.7°C, all vital functions nearly shut down. She slips a thermometer into his mouth, telling him to relax for the reading. After checking, she hands him the result, 11.5°C. She notes in disbelief that he's alive at that temperature. Momo grows puzzled, wondering if his powers relate to this. His dizzy mind urges him to sneak off and resume his unfinished plan. But as soon as he steps down, his weak body collapses on the cold floor. The doctor turns back, repeating her earlier warning not to move. After a long drag, she announces she's diagnosed his strange condition. She concludes he possesses a special ability, leaving him shocked and wary. He struggles to stand and stay silent, but she reads everything from instinct. His eyes flash, he tries to teleport away from the awkward moment, but the power fails instead. He vomits blue fluid in agony. He realizes with horror he's lost his speed ability. Confusion flooding him. He glances at the clock, 2:52 p.m., and memories from last week return. A strange man suddenly appears, walking toward them. With an icy tone, he orders his men to stay silent after meeting Dr. Chu. Two subordinates ring the doorbell while he observes from afar. The chime startles both Momo and Dr. Chu into alertness. Hez bewildered, not grasping what's happening. Dr. Chu, seemingly expecting this, grits her teeth and inhales sharply. She turns to Momo, urgently telling him to raise his hand and get ready. Hesitant but obedient, he follows, still wondering who's outside. Before he can ask, she sternly commands silence and compliance. She places a hand on his face, ordering him to obey if he wants to live. She insists he must keep his eyes shut and stay still no matter what. Then she walks to the door and presses the open button. The door swings open. La Dalong stands there, calm and courteous. Dr. Chu stays cold and formal, polite despite her dislike. He requests to come in, and she allows it indifferently. She bluntly asks his purpose. La Dalong approaches the bed, saying he seeks the patient in room 409. Dr. Chu flatly replies that person died from poisoning. He frowns briefly, then smiles faintly, feigning regret. Momo lies still, furious La Dalong is the enemy he thought had slain. Rage burns in him, he wishes he could use his power to end it. But even that small twitch doesn't escape La Dalong's notice. He steps closer to Dr. Chu, speaking politely, yet with hidden intent. Suspicious? He demands a check since he just saw signs of life. Dr. Chu instantly retorts, her voice icy, the dead stay dead. La Dalong draws a knife, a wicked grin, exposing his intent to expose her lie. He raises the blade, aiming to stab the man faking death on the bed. Unable to hold back, Dr. Chu grits her teeth and yells. She lunges forward, slapping him hard across the face, leaving a red mark. She snaps, asking if he's questioning her professional integrity. His two henchmen roar in anger, ready to strike back, but La DeLong raises a hand, ordering them to stop and stay calm. He switches to a sugary tone, apologizing with fake sincerity. Lighting a cigarette, he regains his composed demeanor. He exhales smoke toward her, praising her for saving lives. Patting her shoulder, he feigns friendliness and apologizes for earlier. Then he leans close, whispering a threat never forget who backs her in this shabby clinic. Before leaving, he glances back with menace, making Dr. Chu mutter in irritation. The door slams shut, echoing with his fading footsteps. She turns to Momo, softly informing him the man is gone. She guesses he must have 1,000 questions right now. Momo nods inwardly, torn between fear and confusion. Why did he want him dead, and why did she save him? Before asking, he awkwardly mentions his missing clothes, disappointing her. Outside, Brooklyn lies frozen under merciless snow. In an apartment, La DeLong's men guard a furnace. While one complains about his miserable father, the other dismisses it, blaming the harsh climate for his gloom. But La DeLong cuts in darkly, saying things will only get worse. He reminds them the government stopped all updates, the system has collapsed. He mocks that this endless frost might be divine punishment. A tied-up officer rages, shouting that real sinners should be punished instead. La DeLong smirks, claiming he's the one maintaining order here. Mr. Du fumes, condemning his unfair rules over the residents. La DeLong calls it fairness warmth in exchange for obedience. Mr. Du chokes on anger, cursing him outright. La DeLong stays indifferent, coldly stating the man in room 409 is dead. The words stun Mr. Du, making him fear Mo. Mo is truly gone. Inside, Momo wobbles while dressing, cursing his weakness for struggling even with clothes. Meeting Dr. Chu, he urgently asks questions. She responds with one about his coma duration. Momo honestly says 26 hours, but she tells him it's actually day 217. He freezes 6 whole days have passed, and much must be changed. She explains La DeLong now controls all heating, forcing residents to trade supplies. She shrugs, saying going outside is suicide, yet people still risk it. In Momo's mind, La DeLong's vile face burns a beast hell never forgive. He clenches his fists, restraining rage, then asks if there's a way to recover. She smiles faintly, as if waiting for that question all along. She replies there is, but only if he accepts her terms. Nothing's free. Exhaling smoke, she asks slyly, "So, do you accept the deal?" Momo agrees instantly, as long as it's within his ability. Dr. Chu steps closer, lifts his chin, and says she wants exclusive rights to study him as a living specimen. She smiles mysteriously, reminding him he's a fascinating case. Without hesitation, Momo accepts the deal. She reveals his blood contains an unidentified special substance. It absorbs radiant heat and converts it into energy, activating when the body lacks warmth. Simply put, he's hungry, he just needs enough energy intake to stabilize. Dr. Chu confirms it but notes food supplies are scarce. Momo nods calmly, saying he has his own plan. Bundled up, he sneaks back to the building where Head stored supplies. He creeps through hallways, avoiding eyes just needs to make it home. As the door opens, relief floods through him, but looking around, he's shocked everything inside is frozen solid white. He mutters, suspecting the heating's been cut, turning his room into a giant freezer. Stomping through the frost, he curses La DeLong for such cruelty. He finally finds his stash of supplies, the highest energy food chocolate. Seeing it, memories of his lover flicker, making him frown. Shaking it off, he devours the bars to regain calories, yet his body shows no change, so he keeps eating more. He continues until a strange sensation stirs within. A voice in his mind urges more energy, his body losing control as he eats into delirium. Suddenly, the door bursts open, a group enters, finding it unlocked. They gape at the stockpile, surprised no fingerprint cut was needed to open it. Momo has transformed, grinning with murderous intent. They shout in alarm, but he only smiles coldly. No longer himself. Elsewhere, Dr. Chu finishes analyzing his biological data. Murmuring to herself, she notes an unprecedented biological reversal. She jolts, realizing the danger of excessive sugar intake. A memory from 72 hours ago flashes shed seen a pool of strange blue liquid near the furnace. She revisits the scene, finding a weird tissue mass, and immediately grows suspicious. Without delay, she collects a sample, excitement rising as she studies it. Rechecking the system, she sees the surveillance cameras still active. She calmly decides to access the security room for data review. Suddenly, the government broadcast echoes through the frozen complex. The voice urges all residents to pay attention. They're told to ration supplies as life inside grows more desperate. Mr. Du is beaten unconscious by La DeLong's men and dragged away. One thug grumbles about the old man's stubbornness, the other recalls their boss' warning. La DeLong declares a heat tax to be collected from every tenant. Many think Mr. Du ordered it, leaving them confused. But La Dalong laughs maniacally, amplifying despair over the intercom. He manipulates the heating system like a switch of life and death. His laughter echoes down the icy corridors. A cold voice speaks inside Momo's mind, asking about his hatred. Momo jerks in shock, hands twitching, not understanding what controls him. The voice repeats sharply, "Do you bear hatred for La Dalong?" His image invades Momo's mind like a parasite, igniting madness. Hatred for La Dalong becomes Momo's sole instinct. He roars and lunges at one of La Dalong's thugs. The man's throat is crushed, body imploding from within. Momo's consciousness sinks into manic delirium. Every figure before him morphs into a mocking La Dalong. He hurls an enemy into the wall with brutal force. The corpse drops straight from the upper floor. A returning resident witnesses the horrific scene. He cries out in horror at the charred body. The flesh is burnt away, revealing stark white bone. It seems the victim fell from above. The remaining thug freezes, unable to comprehend such monstrous power. He stares at Momo in terror, asking if he's even human. A crimson aura glows around Momo like a ghostly aurora. Realizing there's no escape, the thug charges desperately. Momo grins grotesquely. Humanity gone. To him, the foe is just another face of La Dalong. He dodges strikes faster than the eye can follow. The thug panics, unable to land a hit. Momo even waves mockingly, dripping disdain. The man attacks again only to rush into his own death. The next attempt ends the same way. In Momo's mind, the screaming enemy is La Dalong, fueling his fury. He stands still, eyes cold, replying to the provocation in silence. The thug gathers his strength for one last charge. Momo blinks and the man dies instantly, vanishing mid-motion. At that moment, a voice calls from the doorway. "Don't be fooled by appearances," it warns. Momo turns and freezes when he sees Ming has transformed. His former lover now aims a gun at him. A shot rings out, piercing him, but the pain is illusionary. In reality, Dr. Chu appears, gently telling her it's just Izolin. Momo's body weakens, collapsing like rotten wood. Dr. Chu catches her, explaining the drug drains excess energy. The stockpiled room stuns her. She can't fathom what it all means. Poverty and desperation, she muses, are the roots of human sin. From hunger to conflict, humanity keeps replaying its old tragedies. High-tech agriculture once supported civilization's growth, but in this frozen world, farming is only a distant dream. Dark history repeats through famine, yet Momo is a living anomaly. After overdosing on sugar, he lost control but was saved by a timely injection. She sighs helplessly, just awake, yet already forced into deep sleep again. She eyes the stash of tomatoes, wondering what purpose they serve. Then she picks one and sits by the counter. She bites slowly, savoring the strange flavor like a first-time eater. Even Dr. Chu falls under its spell. The taste exceeds expectation, irresistibly addictive. The room overflows with fruit, enough to feed the whole block. The blizzard rages on, trapping everyone in exhaustion. A couple braves the cold outside, returning empty-handed, the wife faint from hunger. He frets over her, while she fights to stay composed despite the chill. She reassures him softly that she's fine, no need to worry. He rummages through his bag, recalling a chocolate bar somewhere inside. She stops him, saying there's no need she left it behind, but he insists it's in his coat, making her laugh. She gently reminds him, there's no need to look. She says he already gave it to their child this morning. He forces a sheepish smile, mumbling he forgot. Hunger and despair crush his spirit. He calls himself useless. A white monster's claw rips through the air, killing him instantly. His face shatters, barely human anymore. The wife screams as the massive beast towers before her in the blizzard. It roars, shredding her husband without mercy. Blood splatters across her face in a nightmare moment. She freezes in horror at the grotesque sight and the beast's savage grin. Everything happens too fast. She stands paralyzed in panic. A sudden voice snaps her out of her daze. The voice shouts, calling her back to reality. From above, a man waves and yells for her to run toward him. He screams again, "If you want to live, hurry!" Trusting that voice, she runs with all her strength, the beast charging behind. It races like a nightmare, flickering through the white snow. Her eyes widen in terror as she prays not to be caught. Despite her effort, she falls face first in panic. She rolls several times across the freezing snow. The beast closes in, claws nearly touching her. Exhausted, she lies still, surrendering to fate. At that moment, from above, the man strikes, turning a liquor bottle into a weapon. He hurls the flaming bomb at the monster. The bottle explodes, fire bursting brilliantly. The baby howls in agony, writhing in flames as the woman seizes the chance to flee. She glances back, relieved the beast is gone from sight. She dashes into the building, spotting the elevator with rising hope. But everything shatters. The wounded beast still pursues relentlessly. It howls in madness, smashing through everything in its path. She desperately pounds the elevator button, praying it works. The long-broken lift refuses to open. A shout echoes from above. "Close your eyes now." She gasps, confused and terrified. A blinding beam of light shoots straight at the beast. It screeches in pain, burning under the glare. The man appears with a staff, ready for combat. His cold gaze shows calm control, his counterattack planned. A power cord from his electric guitar vibrates the air. The deafening sound, amplified by giant speakers, tears the sky apart. The monster staggers from the sonic assault, while the man keeps playing, tormenting it further. Once, Dorothy dreamed of becoming a doctor as a child. As she grew, she chose to heal minds instead of bodies. She became a dedicated therapist. Fate intervened when she met Matt. They fell in love at first sight, as if the universe itself had arranged their story. They married, had a daughter named Me, and bought a new apartment. But disaster struck, the world froze, monsters emerged, chaos reigned, yet they fought to survive. Now Dorothy stands before madness. A stranger wielding a guitar subdues the by-bee. She stands frozen, unable to believe such absurd insanity is real. As the fierce melody ends, the guitar sound softens. The monster instantly lunges back in fury. The man stays calm, smiling teasingly. He stomps the trigger beneath his foot. A thunderous crash follows as a steel crane plummets down. Just as the beast comes into sight, it's buried alive beneath tons of metal. With one last roar, it vanishes into the wreckage. Dorothy still trembles, unable to believe it's over. Has it truly ended? Tears stream down, whether from grief or fear, she can't tell. The man approaches, eyes gentle and reassuring. "It's okay now," he says softly, helping her up. They light a fire, fixing what they can, her eyes still haunted by loss. She gazes at her locket with the family photo, a broken memory never to heal. He hands her a condolence note, voice heavy. They sit silently by the faint flame in the frozen stillness. He murmurs cryptically. Everything eventually returns to dust. He turns to Dorothy, stressing that the living are what truly matter. Dorothy stays silent, filled with doubt and unease. Noticing her confusion, he quickly changes the topic, apologizing for rambling. As the warmth fades, he suddenly recalls something important. Before he can speak, Dorothy introduces herself first. The exchange is brief but meaningful. He nods slightly, gratitude in his sincere gaze. With humble grace, he says, "No need for thanks." Dorothy curiously asks if he too is searching for supplies. He smirks, dodging the question amid the tense atmosphere. Suddenly remembering something, he opens his bag to pull something out. It's a photo he's from the South, searching for an old friend, but got stranded by the storm. He shows Dorothy the picture, describing his bandmate from high school who wore a hat. Dorothy freezes. The person in the photo is the resident of room 409. At that moment, the entire complex shakes violently, as if something massive approaches. A deep rumble echoes, trembling the ground. Miss Bing gasps, asking what that gigantic thing is. The snow crushes under colossal steps. A horde of by-bee draws near. Leading them is a massive, deformed queen, slow but terrifying, moving toward the building. Everyone falls into despair. Their advance points straight at humanity's final refuge. Miss Bing clenches her fists, eyes wide with dread. Elsewhere, Momo slowly awakens, mind still spinning. He sees Dr. Chu focused on equipment, unaware he's awake. Turning back, she announces the installation is complete, leaving Momo confused. He looks down to find his body wired with devices and a strange collar on his neck. Dr. Chu explains, the collar has ancient origins, its meaning evolving over time. From symbol of slavery to tool of control, the collar has worn many meanings, and now, it might even serve recreational purposes. Seeing Momo's wary look, she quickly assures him it's not what he thinks. Momo frowns, annoyed by the odd implication. He snaps that he agreed to be a test subject, not part of some game. Dr. Chu cuts in, insisting it's just a basic biomonitor. She touches his shoulder, reminding him about what's inside his body. Then she whispers that its heat-absorbing ability isn't that simple. She reveals the bracelets for testing a scientific hypothesis of hers. When blood sugar spikes, the ring changes color from blue to pink. Momo snaps, demanding what the other state actually means. She smiles, mysteriously, asking if he remembers what just happened. Momo blanks out, mind wiped clean. He stammers, sweating, unable to recall a thing. Seeing his panic, Dr. Chu soothes him gently. She says it's fine, he forgot, they just need to clarify the event. Her eyes gleam with scientific thrill, treating the ring as their joint work. Momo watches her leave, feeling utterly led by her. Curiosity burns within him. He wants to know what truly happened. His gaze hardens. He vows to reclaim control one day. He silently promises to switch roles with her someday. Suddenly, Dr. Chu activates the device without warning. His body convulses violently, clueless what's going on. He panics as thick sugar solution is pumped into him. His blood sugar spikes, and the ring flashes pink instantly. He grits his teeth, furious at her bizarre experiment. She scribbles notes, then approaches as if recalling something. Her unpredictable move makes him deeply uneasy. She places a potted plant before him, eyes oddly gleaming. He feels irresistibly drawn to the plant. His vision blurs as excess sugar floods his system. A crimson light bursts from him, followed by a furious roar. Then, an unfamiliar voice praises that feeling. A shadow darts past, narrowly avoiding Dr. Chu. That figure halts in the pressure-filled space. It walks slowly, each step radiating power. It's Momo's voice, but not him. It says he can finally see it now. He panics, unable to believe what he's seeing. Before him stands his duplicate, radiating dominance. He chokes out, asking if it's truly him. The absurdity makes him scream that it's an illusion, but the copy says Dr. Chu can't hear them now. Dr. Chu stands frozen, motionless like locked in place. He demands to know what it did to her. It smirks vaguely, admitting partial involvement. The evasive answer enrages him. He demands its identity. It claims the result was something they both created. It points to the potted plant. The strawberries he grew formed it. It pulls down its hood, revealing its true face. It believes once he sees, hell understand everything. Momo freezes, unable to grasp the meaning. Though human in form, its essence is a monster born of memories. He trembles, realizing it's the creature from that day. It nods firmly, confirming without hesitation. It confesses it's been linked to his body all along. His revival and strange powers all came from it. In human form, it extends a hand, inviting him to coexist. Elsewhere, the NSII National Security and Infrastructure still runs solo amid the chaos. NSII now stands as humanity's last fortress against extinction. A worker named Xiao La sighs, worried the network's still down. Her co-worker Barbara reminds her it's the 28th time she's asked in 2 days. Xiao La just shrugs, offering no comeback. She complains about lost connections, forcing manual data work. But Barbara is sick of hearing it. Barbara cuts her off, bluntly saying they're both dodging responsibility. She stands, urging Xiao La to finish the report, but Xiao La just stammers. Barbara demands the finished part, ignoring Xiao La's confusion about the rest. She smirks, saying the reviewer won't read it carefully anyway. Sure enough, the supervisor skims it, leaving Barbara disheartened by the system's decay. She stays silent, as leadership repeats empty orders. Frank Kitsch, a senior officer, paces while listing threats to climate, network, and comms. He stresses the special ops teams have gone silent too long, with zero response. Barbara grows impatient with the higher-ups' indecision. She mocks that wars don't change, but their soldiers are stuck. Unable to hold back, she kicks the chair in anger. She lashes out at their clinging to outdated political strategies. Finally, Frank enters Barbara's lab coldly, asking why he's only seeing this now. Frank freezes at the sight of a massive creature locked inside. Before them stands a twisted monster captured near the Lugu region. It mumbles like borrowing human speech, making Xiao La shiver. Analysis shows it was once human, but has mutated. Frank's skin crawls, seeing something familiar on its neck. A seemingly plain cord hints at something serious. It might have been an external agency employee once. Frank doubts it, but Barbara says it happened right before the network cut. A missing operative near that zone was found lifeless. Old data confirms he was the commando codenamed Boba, but 24 hours later, his corpse mutated into the creature before them. Xiao La adds they have old CIA files, noting the creature existed pre-Ice Age. She plays a supermarket video showing 2 entities, one dubbed the Hollow Shell. The other, with extraordinary power, was codenamed Zero, and Frank freezes, realizing it's Lin Mo. Back to the present, Momo now faces the strange being that morphs into a young girl before his eyes. A moment ago, it was a grotesque monster. Now it's a human beauty. In that form, the creature stares intently at Momo's body. A sly smile crosses her lips. Suddenly she lunges, teasing, "Humans get shy when naked, huh?" Momo backs off, heart racing, doubting it's real. He looks around. Everything's frozen. Time itself paused. As if reading him, she says, "You're starting to get it now." Momo gasps. "You can read my mind?" She giggles. "Of course we're one now." Her tone carries a mocking edge toward his choice of words. It explains the illusion is triggered by the injected sugar, awakening its consciousness inside him. Then it confirms, its special blood now flows within his body. The strange blood grants him his unusual power. He frowns, demanding why it had to parasite on him. It smiles gently, like soothing a curious child. Then calmly says, "We are not human, nor of this dimension. To survive, its kind must symbiotically merge with intelligent beings from other realms." Momo fumes, suspecting this is some sci-fi nonsense. The creature continues, it has no name, unable to define its own existence. Time means nothing to it, non-linear, without start or end, only drifting. Only when inhabiting others can they affect the material world. Its voice turns heavy, burdened with unspoken sorrow. It confides a yearning to be known, to have a name, to see the citadel of time. Momo suddenly feels pity, realizing its loneliness in existence. The creature pauses briefly, then laughs. You pity me? How humanly strange. Smugly, it claims choosing humans as hosts was the right call, but it warns. Since we merged, the hollow shells have marked you. Outside, a swarm of monsters approaches the apartment complex. A chaotic mix of creatures gathers as if drawn by a signal. The queen hisses. The sense right, it's here. The horde roars together, receiving its command. They surge forward without hesitation. All barriers rip apart under their mad assault. In the lab, Momo rages. Still unsure what hollow shell means, the creature only smiles mysteriously. Before vanishing, it says, "If you need me, come find me. You know how." A clap echoes through the air. It dissolves, and the room returns to normal. Test tubes fall, motion resumes, but outside, the nightmare continues. The catastrophe officially begins. The pale-skinned beasts flood into the apartment tower. They slaughter everyone mercilessly. Screams echo through every floor. Blood gushes, painting the floor crimson. Someone cries out in despair, the doors locked from within. Panicked residents struggle, but the sealed doors trap them inside. It means they're all locked in, waiting to die. At the incinerator where Old Dew is held, the beasts catch human scent. He peers out. What the hell is coming toward him? La Dalong's underlings are torn apart before his eyes in seconds. Old Dew watches their every move with cold focus. He realizes they're the same species as the red monster before. Exactly the same markings he's seen before. They seem to use human blood as their main nutrition source. Two pale beasts feast on blood. Unaware of his presence, he must escape. But the ropes are too tight and slick to break free easily. Still calm, he mutters. Time to use my old trick again. He grits his teeth and dislocates his wrist with a painful crack. That allows him to slip free from the bindings. His old wound trained him for dislocation, and now it pays off. He sneaks away, careful not to alert the two monsters. Yet he knows time is short, he must act now. His destination, the security room, hiding weapons in a safe. Luckily, the thieves who searched earlier ignored that area. But fortune fades, a white-hide beast has caught his scent. Hez now in deadly peril. Danger closing fast. In the lab, Dr. Chu inspects plants growing abnormally fast due to Momo. He snaps, "Can we open it now?" She calmly replies, "You can't use your power too long, it'll drain you badly." Momo fumes, insisting she's gathered enough data, so why not remove the device already? Suddenly, a loud noise above warns of impending disaster. Strange sounds echo outside the lab door. Dr. Chu frets. What's happening? While Momo senses danger, face turning pale, he mutters, "Could it be?" A white-hide beast bursts through the door into the room. It roars madly, radiating brutal energy. A familiar voice echoes in Momo's head, its hollow shell. Hez shocked, "You're still here?" But before he can finish, the entity cuts him off. It snaps. Not the time for dumb questions. The monsters targeting Dr. Chu, if he hesitates, shall die before his eyes. Momo grumbles. "Why are all the women around me such trouble?" "No time to hesitate," he shouts. "Sorry, forgive me." He grabs Dr. Chu and uses superhuman speed to dodge, making the white-hide crash into the lab table. He gently sets Dr. Chu down in a corner. Worried, he asks, "Hey, are you okay?" She's still dizzy, showing a rare moment of confusion, but quickly regains calm, noting, "At this close range, I can clearly feel your power, it's quite fascinating." Momo gently pushes her into a safe zone. She asks about the strange creature. He admits he's unsure, only that it's dangerous. He turns toward Dr. Chu. He declares, "Hell, handle the enemy himself." She frowns, warning him to be careful using his power. He agrees. He says there's something he's wanted to tell her. "Your methods are weird, but they've helped me a lot." She's slightly surprised by the unexpected thanks, then smiles, teasing him for choosing such a bad time to say it. Momo smirks, saying he'll thank her properly after the fight. He promises gratitude once the mission's done. Suddenly, a whole horde of monsters appears, attacking as a pack. Momo realizes they're moving in coordination. One beast is easy, but a pack puts him at a disadvantage. Dr. Chu jokes about his thank you. He replies, "Shall have to wait." The white-hides charge in unison. Momo starts tracking their moves. He determines only head strikes can kill them efficiently. He activates enhancement mode. Energy surges through him. Dr. Chu silently watches via the monitoring system. Rikagen levels hit maximum. She needs to see Momo's limits. Momo dodges and recalculates tactics to avoid being cornered. He grabs a beast's head with crushing strength, then hurls it onto others for maximum impact. He notices the monsters coordinating intelligently. Momo vows hell never be the hunted again. He activates acceleration, making time slow in his eyes. In this state, he easily reads enemy attacks. With sharp analysis, he takes down 2 beasts and escapes the encirclement. Momo charges forward, fists tightening for a strike. With enough speed, even an unarmed punch hits like a weapon. He kicks hard, fusing it with destructive sound power. The shockwave tears the monsters apart. Still, many remain, retreating before his fierce aura. Dr. Chu notes his energy is used more efficiently now. Consumption is low, he still has 91 energy units left. She grows more intrigued, her gaze colder. She mockingly addresses him like a lab specimen. Her amused voice urges him to keep fighting. Momo realizes she's studying his body's reactions. He powers up his muscles and uses sonic skill to sweep the field. He adds control moves to immobilize foes. After defeating them, the situation stabilizes. Momo's biostats return to normal levels. His genetic activation rate reaches a remarkable peak. His strength keeps rising, yet his body remains unharmed. Rage surges inside him. The scene's full of corpses. She ponders a new problem. She stares at him, implying he knows more than he admits. She demands full disclosure about the experiment. Elsewhere, old Du collapses after a fierce fight. He falls unconscious. When he wakes up, everything around is chaos, leaving him confused. In his hand lies a blood-stained crowbar impaling a Whitehide's corpse. He pushes the carcass aside. Memory returns without that weapon. He'd be dead. That metal rod is the only reason he's still alive. He knows meeting another pack means near certain death. Suddenly, his phone rings even though the network's been cut. A strange number flashes on the screen. He answers. A calm voice greets him. The voice addresses him with an old, loaded title. Meanwhile, Momo tells Dr. Chu everything he knows except about resurrection. Dr. Chu changes into more practical clothes, hands him armor, and asks him to zip it up. He complies, then curiously asks why the sudden wardrobe change. She points at the ceiling, telling him to look up. She explains the creatures crawled in through the maintenance ducts, the system's broken, and temperatures shifting. Suddenly, pounding hits the door in rapid bursts. They open it to check. A silent little girl stands there. Momo recognizes her as the neighbor kid, but she says nothing. Runs off. He worries and follows, while Dr. Chu grumbles. As he chases, horror fills him at the hallway scene. Blood splatters everywhere. Bodies strewn across the floor. Many corpses are mutilated, shocking him deeply. He spots bullet marks and steps carefully past corpses, following the girl to the stairs. At last, they reach a landing. The girl stands before old Do, unconscious, still clutching his crowbar. Momo freezes. Did the old man die? Memories flash. Old Do once helped him in a past life, but was later killed by Whitehides. In the apocalypse, good people rarely survive, he thinks, then kneels to check. Old Do suddenly grips his hand tight. He weakly mutters, as if unable to believe he's still alive. Old Do wakes, smiling weakly, saying he's not dead yet and still owes him a meal. The little girl tugs Dr. Chu's hand closer. Looking up, she asks if the woman is a doctor. She fiddles with the Red Cross badge, begging for help. Dr. Chu stays silent, then steps forward, agreeing to a free checkup today. She examines Do's wounds. Asking what happened, he gives a long story. He says, after escaping the boiler room, he tried to reach the security office, but the ground floor was overrun by monsters. He diverted through the emergency exit and met a few survivors. But the creatures multiplied, forcing them to retreat upstairs. On the way, Du recalls horrifying, bloody scenes. The image of Dai Long appears cold, gun in hand. He ruthlessly shot civilians one by one. Blood sprayed, bodies drained dry by Whitehides before terrified eyes. Du roared in anger, unable to grasp what Dai Long was doing. Dai Long smirked, saying killing people was the best way to buy time. He kept shooting without hesitation. Even children weren't spared. He claimed it was natural since the world began. He justified it as the law of survival. Du shielded the girl, taking a bullet and collapsing. Dai Long walked on calmly, still firing. Dr. Chu removed the bullet in time. He wasn't fatally hit, but had lost too much blood. Momo realizes the killer is Dai Long. He steps forward silently. Dr. Chu asks his intent. He doesn't answer. His cold gaze says it all. Elsewhere, Dai Long keeps killing despite all pleas. Humanity has left him completely. He admires the corpses, believing he's drawn the Whitehides. He opens a storage room, planning to hide there to survive. But before entering, a shadow appears behind him. Momo steps out, voice icy, calling Dai Long's name. Dai Long startles, thinking Momo was dead, and opens fire. But Momo dodges easily, charging like a storm. In seconds, Dai Long's limbs are shattered, blood gushing everywhere. He groans, confused about the assault. Hess shocked. They had no personal grudge, or so he thought. Momo replies that monsters like him bury their sins under others' graves. He drags him to the balcony, warning that if he ever lives again, he'd better change. Yet the pain of lost lives still haunts Momo. His fury burns not just at Dai Long, but at himself. Power erupts within him, as if burning away his guilt. He burns Dai Long alive on the spot, then leaves the corpse for the Whitehides to feast on. His eyes turn to ice. He vows every cruelty will be repaid with a heavier price. In the freezing apartment, Du and Little Mai huddle by the fire. Dr. Chu observes, guessing the unit was once looted and used as storage. Still, some materials here can be reused. Momo sits in silence, unable to shake off the purge's aftermath. He wonders why revenge only leaves him hollow. Even with the enemy dead, he feels adrift. Dr. Chu sits beside him, touches his shoulder, grounding him. She says she's not surprised he's carried that hatred too long, but still thanks him for acting. She admits plainly that Monster's death was worth it. Momo, surprised, asks if she too had a grudge against him. Dr. Chu's eyes darken as old memories resurface, but she stayed silent, saying nothing more. Mama stood up, dodging the topic, unwilling to reopen old wounds. He looked around, realizing this place was decent, but far from ideal. With such a structure, hidden heating systems might still exist inside. He remembered the wounded and the kids' shelter had to be improved fast. They couldn't survive by burning fuel forever. Ongdo agreed, but worried since monsters had taken over the whole building. Little Mi shivered and kept sneezing, worrying everyone. Mama feared death without heating. Ongdo had a risky solution. Leading the way, Mama followed the water pipes as Ongdo instructed. They entered a secret passage Ongdo found back when he was a maintenance worker. A scene of death suddenly unfolded before him. Piles of corpses, human and monster, made it gruesome to behold. The air was tense. A fierce battle had clearly happened here. A strange noise came from the door, putting him on alert. He suspected it might be another Bai Pai, but no, it was Dr. Zhu, bursting into the room. She crashed right into him. They both fell, with him pinned beneath her. He reacted. She coolly called him a test subject, leaving him speechless. She pressed a finger to his lips, signaling silence. Something lurked nearby. A chill drifted through the air like a ghostly breath. They backed into the shadows to avoid detection. She whispered, asking what creature it was. Mama shook his head, asking why she came. She said Lao Chao hadn't finished explaining, but it was something important. To open the way to the boiler room, 2 skilled technicians were needed, and with Mama nearly exhausted, going alone was suicide. Before she could finish, the creature drew closer. Mama saw it clearly. It wasn't a Bai Pi, his strength fading. He recalled Ongdo's words about human blood drained into the pipes. He wondered where that blood was being sent. Little Mi peeked through the window, eyes wide at the bizarre sight outside. Ongdo also stepped forward for a better look. Outside, dense pipes spread like spiderwebs from a massive Bai Pi lord, its belly swollen with blood. Kobin and Dorothy saw it too. Kobin wondered if the monster was truly dead. Suddenly, a flash from the upper floor blinked like a warning signal. It was Morse code in action. Kobin recognized it as an emergency transmission using flashes. It seemed Mr. Gay was trying to warn them not to enter. Dorothy asked, puzzled about the message's meaning. Kobin guessed it meant they should go inside. So both boldly entered the building, ignoring Mr. Jez's panicked shouts. Mr. Gay kept warning, begging them to stop. At that moment, Lin Ma and Dr. Zhu reached the main gate, eyeing the Bai Pai Lord, blocking the way. With no other choice, they gambled everything to get past it. He made a loud noise, deliberately drawing the monster's attention. As it moved to investigate, Lin Ma and Dr. Zhu slipped into the shelter only to realize, in horror, the pipe system was the living body of fused mini Bai Pi. Even more horrifying, human remains were fused into the hive's structure. They kept merging into a new being, a sentient, evolved Bai Pai. It drew a blade from its guts, deathly aura making Lin Ma shudder with dread. The monster lunged at Dr. Zhu so fast no one could react in time. Even at full power, Lin Ma couldn't catch up. In that instant of life and death, he threw himself forward, but he couldn't stop the blade that pierced Dr. Zhu. Outmatched, Lin Ma was nearly spent, unable to fight back. He gasped for breath, sweat soaking his trembling body. The monster stood poised, its icy gaze fixed on them. Lin Ma staggered, clutching his wounded shoulder in agony. This creature was unlike any ordinary Bai Pai. Its eyes glinted with cold intelligence and strange resolve. In them flickered an image of Dr. Zhu, as if stirring buried memories. A strange fury welled inside the Bai Pai. It screamed without knowing why. Then it charged at Dr. Zhu like a furious storm. Lin Ma shoved her aside just in time, but the blade cut deep into his chest, blood gushing violently. He gritted his teeth, cursing the creature's monstrous speed. Once more, he forced out the last of his strength. Facing that killing aura, Lin Ma stood again, terrified yet defiant before death. The thought of dying again filled him with rage. At that moment, the entity within spoke, voice cold as steel, urging him to flee. It invoked survival instinct, the law of those who endure. This world is a cruel stage, it said. Mercy has no place. Whether you or that woman, None are exceptions. But Lin Ma answered, voice shaking yet firm. He refused to run. If he fled, he'd be no better than La Dai Long, the traitor of humanity. He argued not out of kindness, but because humans still have choice and dignity. The entity replied coolly, challenging his belief. He insisted, if it lived within him, it must feel that truth too. Clutching his chest, his burning heart and sorrow proved his humanity. He spoke of evolution. When the first humans learned to lift each other, civilization began. His eyes blazed with no retreat left. He had only one path forward. He pressed his hand to his chest, drawing a cross of blood and energy. Blue veins glowed with unyielding will. His belt flared, energy surging like a roaring torrent. Sensing danger, the Bai Pi countered, unleashing twin X-shaped slashes. To Dr. Zhu, Lin Ma no longer looked human. He had transformed into a bipilic form, leaving her stunned, speechless. Overwhelmed, she couldn't utter a single word. Lin Ma's body turned pale white, brimming with power beyond mortal limits. He faced the evolved monster head-on. The Bai Pi roared, claiming to be the true form, but Lin Ma's energy completely overpowered it. The entity inside laughed darkly, admitting Lin Ma was nearing the source of true power. Without hesitation, Lin Ma charged forward, landing a devastating punch that forced the enemy back. He followed with a jaw-cracking strike, giving it no chance to counter each blow lethal. But it still wasn't fast or strong enough. He roared like a beast. Dr. Zhu watched through her device, stunned by his near-infinite energy. She stared in doubt, questioning the true nature of that power. The Bai Pi attacked suddenly. Lin Ma blocked, saying though their origins were the same, their strength differed. He admitted the similarity made fighting it extremely hard. Even so, he dodged with lightning speed, avoiding fatal blows, then countered with a punch that sent the creature reeling. He realized acceleration was the key to his strength. If used right, he could completely overturn the battle. Suddenly, the Bai Pi shifted target, rushing toward Dr. Zhu at blinding speed. She screamed in terror as the blade neared. Lin Ma roared, commanding it to stop, his voice echoing through the chamber. He slammed his fist into the ground, cracking the floor open. The monster leapt high to dodge the shockwave. The blade halted just inches from Dr. Zhu's forehead, the world frozen still. Lin Ma seized the moment, dashing in like thunder. His eyes burned with unshakable resolve. He swore to wipe out every threat. His flurry of attacks was so fast they blurred into afterimages. A single, mighty punch to the creature's gut made it explode violently. Dr. Zhu crouched in a corner, still trembling in shock. Returning to human form, he offered her a hand, gently saying there were more urgent matters ahead. On the screen, the temperature rose to 26°C proof. The heating system was online. Lao Chao and little Maggie cheered with joy, warmth finally returning. But Maggie suddenly burst into tears, missing her mother. A noise came from the door. Lao Chao flinched. Maggie clung to him in fear. They feared it might be another Bai Pi approaching, but a familiar voice called from outside. Lao Chao, we're back. Lin Ma and Dr. Zhu stepped in. Lao Chao shouted their names in relief and lingering fear. The two exchanged puzzled glances. Dr. Zhu smiled softly, warning him not to get too excited or reopen his stitches. Lao Chao pointed at the heater pipe, trembling, saying he heard strange noises, maybe a Bai Pi. Lin Ma looked up, face tightening at the odd sound. He wondered if the system was just too old. He calmly assured them it might just be an illusion, since the Bai Pi had been drained below. But then the heating pipe suddenly collapsed. A massive chunk of metal crashed down where Lin Ma and Lao Chao stood. From the wreckage, a strange figure emerged, putting both instantly on guard. They readied to fight. Lao Chao shouted that he was right, while Lin Ma feared the Bai Pi had evolved into blood crafters. Suddenly, Maggie screamed, "Mom!" From the debris stepped Dorothy Perrette and Ko Bin panting. Realizing it was a heat duct, not ventilation, Dorothy gasped, calling her daughter's name. Maggie quickly recounted everything in her innocent voice monsters, the blonde uncle, and the neighbor who saved Uncle Gales, leaving everyone stunned. Then Ko Bin screamed Lin Ma's name. Lin Ma turned in surprise, utterly confused. Ko Bin suddenly hugged him tightly, begging him to let her go. She mentioned old memories, scolding him in a strangely affectionate tone. Ko Bin said Shed crossed the continent to find him. It wasn't easy to get here. Lin Ma froze, eyes wide, baffled that this person claimed to know him. Losing control, he punched Ko Bin in the face, shouting that they had no connection. Ko Bin clutched her cheek, muttering in shock that even her dad never hit her, then called him by an old nickname. Lin Ma hesitated, suspicion rising. Could his past have changed along with the future when he revived? Ko Bin suddenly grabbed his hand, shouting about their promise to start a band, recalling every detail. Maggie asked if that was his friend. Dorothy smiled, saying maybe, while Lin Ma snapped and pulled away. He grumbled inwardly, wondering who this annoying blonde was. Fuzzy memories stirred, confusing him between present and altered past. He called out to the entity within, seeking answers. But this time, no response, frustrating him, since she used to appear first. She never cared for anyone but herself. Dr. Zhou cut him off, saying this wasn't the time for nostalgia. Lin Ma argued he didn't know Ko Bin, while Ko Bin got angry, and Dr. Zhou warned of imminent danger. The group all turned toward the window. A massive female bipie dominated the space outside. Dr. Zhou stressed the new threat, even though the heating was fixed. The smaller bipie might be its offspring. With bloodcrafters feeding them, she warned they'd soon overrun the place. If not stopped, the entire zone would be consumed. Lin Ma analyzed that the real threat came from those wielding heavy weapons. He insisted he had the power to handle it, but Dr. Zhou disagreed. After using the black kill mode, Lin Ma's signal light turned green, brighter than before. He pondered the meaning of black kill and asked Dr. Zhou about the energy needed to sustain it. She confirmed it drained enormous power, warning that he was now their only hope. Lin Ma's thoughts raced as he searched for ways to keep fighting without thermal support. An idea flashed. He turned sharply toward the doctor. He asked about leftover materials. She pointed to the corner, puzzled. Lin Ma borrowed a crowbar from Lao Chiao, joking it was a scientific weapon. While prying nails, he muttered about the dangers outside. He said that whether bipie or bloodcrafter, the core issue remained the same. He mentioned the importance of eating before any action. Dr. Zhou burst out laughing, realizing he meant to use the hydroponic grow box. She admired his odd logic. Lin Ma claimed that was the advantage of a simple man. He emphasized that food shortage would worsen as more people gathered. He knew hunger would cripple everyone's ability to act. Dr. Zhou asked about his next plan after hearing him out. She warned the hydroponic box couldn't create food from thin air. Lin Ma's gaze sharpened suddenly. He noticed the corpses from this floor had vanished without a trace. Recalling earlier events, he suspected the bipie had collected bodies under someone's command. This proved the bloodcrafters were rising. They had to act fast. He considered using Black Kill to wipe the threat out completely. Priority now was fixing the heat and food supply issues. Suddenly, Ko Bin appeared, teasing him about his old nickname. Lin Ma was startled, wondering why Ko Bin had followed him here. Ko Bin sneered, thinking Lin Ma looked down on her because of their differences now. She added bitterly that she wasn't worth his concern. Lin Ma just sighed in silence. Ko Bin kept acting close, begging him not to drift apart again. She tilted her head, asking why he stayed silent, startling Lin Ma. A bipie suddenly emerged from the dark, the same one they'd faced before. Under a rain-soaked bridge, a child named C.I.N. crouched, shivering from cold. In the shadows, he spotted something that looked like a sprouting plant. He chatted with a little rat named Jerry, both hiding and running from danger. But Jerry soon scurried away, leaving Sin shouting after him in despair. A memory of C.I.N.'s childhood huddled under the bridge until a friend appeared. The friend approached, patting his shoulder, teasing him for hiding here again. He joked about how many times C.I.N. had been kicked out this month. C.I.N. grinned brightly and replied with something cryptic, like song lyrics. He pointed at the rotten bridge above, joking it wasn't the best hiding spot. He muttered gloomily that those words sounded harsh. The friend extended a hand, silently offering help. With a warm grin, he urged C.I.N. to stand up and stop being alone. C.I.N. finally took his hand, whining it wasn't his choice. His friend burst out laughing. Back to reality. Danger forced Lin Ma to drag C.I.N. and run. He saved C.I.N. just in time from a giant monster's strike, yelling for him to dodge. Sin was pulled along, panting and whining about how bad he looked running. They barely escaped. Lin Ma warned the fourth floor was breached and urged him to get the seeds. C.I.N., still dazed, mumbled about running stylishly, confusing Lin Ma. C.I.N. snapped, blaming Lin Ma, while he stood there speechless. Their shouting match grew louder, tension thick in the air. A loud crash interrupted them. Both froze in fright. The monster smashed through the wall, its massive hand bursting through debris. It grabbed straight for Lin Ma, leaving no room to dodge. The creature's pressure froze C.I.N. in terror. Lin Ma's head was crushed in its grip, lifted off the ground amid a ghastly roar. Gasping for air, he felt his skull about to crack. At that moment, Ko Bin stepped out, holding a flaming bottle of liquor. Shouting a challenge, she drew the monster's attention. She hurled the bottle at its hand. Flames erupted, forcing it to drop Lin Ma. Freed. Lin Ma fell straight into a pool of bloodcrafter slime and was instantly pulled under. He realized he was being swallowed by the horrifying red fluid. Struggling fiercely, he couldn't break free from the living membrane. Chilling noises echoed from the tightening bloodcrafter mass. His vision blurred. He could only curse his helplessness. In despair, he wondered if this was truly the end. But suddenly, he opened his eyes. He was still alive. Around him was a completely unfamiliar place, filling him with unease. He looked around, trying to grasp where he was and why. His gaze froze on a spot ahead. A woman bound in chains appeared, not clear if human or monster. He stared, wondering if she was still alive. Suddenly, the woman opened her eyes, staring at him coldly enough to chill his spine. He stumbled back in panic, heart pounding wildly. Slipping on the wet ground, he lost his balance. In that instant, the scene shifted again, dragging him into another space. Dizzy, he no longer knew where he was. Two laughing children stood before him, playing happily together. He froze, recognizing the curly-haired one. It was himself as a child. Looking to the other, he recognized his childhood friend, but the memories felt alien, throwing him into confusion. Another small version of himself appeared, pulling his hand in bewilderment. The blond boy shouted that Scene was his best friend. Suddenly, voices shouted urgently from outside. A scream tore through reality, yanking him back to the present. Cin was pulling him free from the tightening Bloodcrafter slime. While dragging him out, Cin cursed nonstop for nearly dying such a dumb way. After escaping the red membrane, Cin anxiously questioned him, while Lin Ma was still dazed by what he saw. He quickly pushed the visions aside, reminding himself to focus. The looming threat, a giant biped immune to fire, was terrifying. Cin, reckless as ever, prepared another Molotov greeting. Lin Ma immediately stopped him, urging restraint. He explained the creature could resist heat and regenerate rapidly. He concluded normal attacks were useless, shocking Sin with his rare composure. But Cin stubbornly hurled another Molotov, making Lin Ma groan in despair. The flames roared, yet the monster didn't even flinch, proving him right. With no other choice, Lin Ma stepped forward, ready to face it head-on, activating Black Kill. But when he tried to transform, nothing happened. His energy was gone. The doctor confirmed it. He no longer had enough power to use Black Kill again. In that dire moment, a spark of insight flashed in his mind. He recalled the creature's heat absorption ability. That was the key. And like it, he once absorbed energy during Black Kill mode. His eyes lit with hope as a breakthrough idea struck. Without hesitation, he charged straight at the monster. Suddenly, the world shifted to his past, back when he was an ordinary man in a war-torn hell. He stood silently in a graveyard, thinking his comrades' souls might rest there. For months, his unit had been hunted, their outposts falling one by one. Exhausted from running, Lin Ma finally stopped and spoke up. Lao Chao, confused, asked what he meant. But Lin Ma's burning eyes declared he refused to live as prey any longer. Back in the present, carrying that same resolve, he fought fiercely and wounded the monster. He pressed his hand onto the creature, activating Black Kill, absorbing the surrounding flames as raw power. Kobin gawked and blurted, "What the hell, since when did you grow horns?" Lin Ma had entered a half-Black Kill state, half human, half monster. He clenched his fists with fiery resolve. He stepped back for momentum, then delivered a crushing punch to the creature's gut. The blow was so powerful it knocked the giant off balance, sending it flying into the wall with a thunderous crash. Lin Ma didn't waste time. He turned to Kobin and said firmly, "Listen closely, Miroto Kobin." In full Black Kill form, he declared, "The person you once knew no longer exists. I am someone else now." Kobin ignored the drama, teasing him about his new look. Lin Ma snapped, "Hey, are you even listening?" She kept joking, saying, "Yeah, you definitely don't look like the old Lin Ma anymore." He gave up arguing and changed the subject. "Enough talk. This biped won't die easily," he warned. He asked how many Molotovs Kobin still had left to plan their next move. Kobin seriously opened her guitar case packed full of gear, leaving Lin Ma stunned. "How the hell did you fit all that in there?" he yelled. At that moment, the monster started moving again, and Lin Ma shouted a warning. Kobin asked if they should retreat. The word, "run," reignited Lin Ma's bitter memories. He whispered to himself, "Run again?" Images of fallen comrades flooded his mind like unhealed scars. Those memories reignited his courage. He decided, no more running. Without hesitation, he charged straight at the biped. His sudden resolve left Kobin stunned, murmuring, "He really has changed." Lin Ma roared, taunting the creature awake to prepare his decisive strike. Even changed? Kobin knew he couldn't win through normal means. The monster had extreme regenerative power, but speed was its fatal weakness. Lin Ma exploited it with relentless attacks. Every strike landed hard and true. He moved faster than lightning, leaving the beast no time to counter. He stepped back again, bracing for the next blow. He shouted, "Your turn." Kobin instantly responded, hurling every Molotov left in the case. The bottles smashed against the creature's flesh, erupting in fiery explosions. Flames clung to its oily skin, blazing wildly. If the wounds were deep enough, the fire would finish it, Lin Ma calculated, but it healed almost instantly. That forced him to switch tactics. While the flames still burned, he absorbed the heat through Black Kill, turning it into new power. Draining energy from the enemy, he made it his own. His will burned brighter, victory filled his mind. With the gathered heat, he shot forward like an arrow toward his target. The ground shattered under his sheer speed. At the perfect range, He lowered his stance for the strike. His fist, packed with searing energy, smashed straight into the beast. The blow pierced through, making its insides explode in a bloody burst. Kobin's hair stood on end as she stammered, "Is this a nightmare?" Lin Ma reverted to human form. Exhausted but standing tall, one strike had ended it for good. He knew deep down he wouldn't have survived without Kobin's help. He reached out a hand, gently asking, "You good, you maniac?" Kobin grinned so widely, it nearly ruined the heartfelt moment. She immediately asked what's next, making Lin Ma sigh and take back his compliment. In the quiet hallway, only Kobin's triumphant cheer echoed through the air. Hes overly excited about the new plan, rambling nonstop. They came for seeds and nutrients. Coppin's shocked, his friend knows farming. He fires off power-related questions, making Lin Mo groan about babysitting a reincarnated fool. Suddenly, the bracelet on his wrist makes a strange sound, then stops. He frowns and mutters, while Kopin instantly teases him as usual. Lin Mo covers his mouth, nearly suffocating Kopin for being too noisy. On the other end, Dr. Joe and Dorothy hear chaos and demand answers. Lin Mo asks about the bracelet's signal feature, but Dr. Joe cuts him off with news. She reports finding old but useful relics in the storage, like an ancient TV. They also found seeds, nutrients, and vintage gardening tools. Seems like the previous owner's flower supplies. Lin Mo nods, calling it good news. The doctor lowers her voice, ready to share something crucial. Under her guidance, the team enters the old lab, leaving Kopin awestruck. He mutters in disbelief this house hides a lab and a weird female doctor. Lin Mo absent-mindedly searches for the medical box. When he finds it, its strange look makes him doubt its purpose. Meanwhile, Kopin keeps babbling until Lin Mo admits, the doctor really is suspicious. He studies the label dangerous organism, sending chills down his spine. Could this be related to the white-skinned creature Dr. Zhou secretly studied? His doubts grow. Just then, Kopin bumps into something, yelling as a computer screen lights up. Lin Mo startles, knocks Kopin's head, and scolds him. Kopin groans in pain. The screen's sudden glow sparks an argument. What if data's deleted? Kopin retorts, he's not that dumb. Hearing the word dumb, Lin Mo suddenly realizes something important. His tone shifts. He kicks Kopin out. Blondie, out now. Protesting. Kopin's still thrown out to fetch supplies, whining along the way. Once alone, Lin Mo focuses on the computer to dig into the doctor's secrets. After a few clicks, one detail instantly catches his eye. A young photo of Dr. Zhou appears. She looks nothing like now. He zooms in, spotting a non-governmental badge. His suspicion deepens, so she's been hiding even more. Later, the group regathers at the original meeting spot. Lao Chao cheers at their footsteps, knowing they're back. Everyone chats lively, while Dr. Zhou watches silently from behind the wall. Kopin eagerly reports, but Dr. Zhou snaps, ordering Kopin to shut up. Lin Mo and Kopin bring useful stuff, but only a few seeds due to space limits. Lin Mo sighs over the lack of food, but Lao Chao says seeds alone are lucky enough. He offers to help plant them, but Lin Mo stops him. His wounds aren't healed yet. Then Dr. Zhou speaks up, saying she'll assist with her expertise. She glances at Lin Mo meaningfully, as if waiting for his reaction. Lin Mo meets her gaze sharply and replies with firm conviction. The tension snaps when Kopin jumps in, offering to help and easing the mood. But Lin Mo instantly shuts him down, telling him to stay away, leaving Kopin grumbling. Back to business. Dr. Zhou reminds him of the item she once asked him to find. He pulls out the vial, asking skeptically, "This one?" When she reaches for it, he pulls back, warning, "Wait a second." He glares, demanding an explanation. He wants to know who truly interfered in the case. Chu Shunya remains calm, smiling as if fully in control. Lin Mo doubts her poise, realizing it's deliberate. She doesn't hide once exposed. In fact, she looks pleased. He raises the vial, pressing her for the real reason she lured him in. When her identity's revealed, she swiftly snatches the vial, deepening his confusion. She speaks slowly, hinting the story isn't over. Uncapping the vial, she unveils a truth far from his assumption. Inside isn't poison, but a vital survival organism. She links Lin Mo to strange entities, suspecting a terrifying commonality. His body absorbs heat like the aberrations once studied. He denies it, unclear how that connects to survival fate. Chu Shunya jokes to lighten the mood, teasing him as a lab specimen. She explains that maintaining nutrients and energy is key to survival. She speculates he once used special tech to boost crop growth. She stresses he hasn't yet reached peak power under current conditions. Though he absorbs heat, his energy storage is still too weak for long fights. She suggests enhancing his organs to speed up energy conversion. Lin Mo feels overwhelmed, asking for time to process all that. She taps his chest lightly with the vial, urging him to act. She concludes, the organism must be implanted in him to sustain life. He smiles but can't hide his fear of side effects. The black energy inside him suddenly reacts, absorbing the vial on its own. The reaction freezes Chu Shunya in shock. The power spreads wildly inside him, devouring the vial uncontrollably. Hes horrified as the event spirals beyond reason. The vial is swallowed like prey, long desired by the parasite within. The absorption happens fast, she quietly notes. His body is now ready. Then, black energy erupts violently from within him. She deduces the parasitic entity is his core energy source. In seconds, Lin Ma's body regenerates completely, reaching overwhelming strength. He can't hide his excitement, declaring it's time to start farming. Seedlings on the rack sprout naturally at once. Not just one plant, an entire micro-ecosystem thrives clean and stable. Lin Mo spots a small figure curiously watching the young plants. Maggie, a girl with swaying hair, asks about the sprouting things. Lin Mo gently answers their vegetables. She points at the fuzzy leaves, still puzzled. He bursts out laughing, comparing the sapling to Maggie, who firmly denies it. Maggie insists she's taller than the plant, making Lin Mo laugh in agreement. With sparkling eyes, Maggie asks about another plant called Marina. Dorothy gently pats her head, explaining it's the veggie inside her favorite sandwich. Maggie excitedly hopes her dad will take her for sandwiches when they reunite. Dorothy freezes, her smile fading at the mention of her late husband. A nearby soldier quietly reveals the truth about the father's death. Lin Mo stays silent, lost in deep thought. Suddenly, he turns to his companion with bright enthusiasm, calling her name. They chat animatedly, Dorothy and her child confused as he asks if she brought wheat, then excitedly mentions pickles and cucumbers. With some meat, they could make a perfect burger. Lin Mo turns to Maggie. Speaking warmly, yet seriously, she nods eagerly as he explains the veggies need to grow first. Maggie asks how long it takes, and he jokes that in ancient Greece, Head be the god of agriculture. The line makes Maggie cheer in delight. Dorothy thinks he's joking, until he proudly introduces himself by name. Dorothy sighs, saying if plants really grow that fast, no one would starve again. Kopin chimes in mischievously, hinting Lin Ma's power is real, not a joke. Lin Mo panics, dragging her aside for a private talk. He sternly warns her not to reveal his power. She asks why. He avoids her gaze, clearly wary. He recalls Dr. Chu's story about a top-secret, high-risk project by the Security Bureau, where data stayed locked within teams. He shares what he found, a covert program planting hypnotized, drugged agents disguised as civilians. These people lived normal lives, unconsciously sending intel like living trackers, ready to do anything for national security. She warns cautiously that the Bureau might still exist, and one of them could be among their group. Dr. Chu concluded that, if they discovered Lin Mo, the outcome would be disastrous, better that no one knows. That's why Lin Mo stopped Kopin, assuring her things are still under control. Even so, Kopin keeps teasing, calling him a Greek farm god in the desert. After everyone leaves, Lin Mo double-checks the room to ensure he's alone. Silence fills the space he stays behind. Utterly focused, he murmurs softly, then gets serious and begins his work. Closing his eyes, he links with the new parasitic energy inside him. Now he can enter the ultra-limit state at will. But a hidden camera records every move, transmitting data into orbit. The comm system suddenly reboots, restoring signal. A commanding voice asks about the connection status and system reboot progress. They're trying to restore satellite links, searching for space data to aid reconnaissance. But Earth's icy surface blocks visibility, forcing them to rely on underground sensors. 3 drones launch immediately, but struggle under the harsh conditions. The cold drains their batteries, forcing them to collect data as fast as possible. The recon crafts sweep the city while the operators still lack a clear target. The commander orders them lower to spot any life signs or survivors. The drones see only ruins, no life, no humanitarian activity. One drone passes Lin Mo's shelter, detects anomalies, and zooms in. As it nears, they freeze. An enormous living mass clings to the building, draining it dry, a nightmare sight. One drone flies too close and is instantly crushed by the creature's pressure. The others converge on the anomaly, where a new generation of monsters is forming terrifying chaos. From the creature's belly, a massive mutated white-skinned beast emerges, dwarfing all prior forms. Its arms stretch long, dripping with blood and flesh from devoured victims. The gruesome scene chills the observers as the ground starts to quake. Lin Mo senses the tremor and suspects it's no ordinary earthquake. He rushes to Dr. Chu, who watches through the window, pointing outside gravely. She declares the creature's formation complete. Time is running out. Lin Mo stares out, horrified by the monstrous shape. It's the very specimen that birthed the mutated children, both eerie and powerful. The beast's eyes pierce through everything, locking onto Lin Mo with a mysterious bond. He whispers, does it know him, or is it searching for something within him? The monster reaches back, ready to tear the building apart to find its target. People rush over, calling Lin Mo's name, relieved he's alive. He shouts for everyone to get down as danger approaches. With one swing, the creature smashes a huge section of the complex. Though human, Lin Mo closes his eyes, bracing for disaster. When he opens them, no debris has hit him. Every chunk of concrete floats midair, deadly yet suspended. He checks Dr. Chu, ensuring she's unharmed. She calmly says she's fine, teasing him softly. In panic, his hand accidentally lands on her chest. She smiles playfully. He jerks back, apologizing, keeping distance. Though uninjured, they're now fully exposed to the monster. Lin Mo wonders why the rubble hovers, suspecting an unseen force. His distraction gives the creature a clear view of him. It weaponizes the debris, hurling it at them at incredible speed. A massive explosion erupts, burning everything in an instant. Luckily, they dodge in time, no serious injuries. Copine stands bewildered, eyes wide in shock. By the time she looks, it's all happened too fast to react. Lin Mo's face turns pale. Half the room is gone after the attack. Lin Mo and Dr. Chu are thrown from their spot during the attack. Copine screams his name in panic, but there's no sign of life below. Then, a voice rises from the rubble, shattering the despair. Dr. Chu is alive, clinging to a steel frame, calmly asking for help. Copine asks about Lin Mo, but before hearing an answer, the white-skinned beast spots them. Everyone freezes. Dorothy yells frantically for them to run to safety. Suddenly, a blazing pink beam slices through the air, striking the monster. The surprise attack knocks the creature off balance, crashing it into a nearby building. A glowing pink figure emerges from the dust, radiating brilliance. That very figure launched the blow, disrupting the mutant beast's strike. Although the monitors are heavily damaged, they still capture the monster being thrown back. A distant voice wonders if this could be the rescue unit's creature they once mentioned. The camera also records floating debris defying gravity. Then, the broadcast cuts, losing the final reconnaissance feed. A confused operator asks the commander what they should do now. Lao Tie stays calm, assuring they'll soon reconnect with command station Logos. Another voice argues they need backup plans instead of relying solely on Logos. Someone suggests sending their own probe to search for survivors, but it's denied. Lao Ti warns it's safer to stay put until the situation is clearer. Meanwhile, the white-skinned beast attacks again, hurling rocks in a dusty explosion. From the thick smoke, Lin Mo appears now, fully white-skin transformed. He thinks this must be his red limit form, power reborn from ashes. The monster launches more rocks, but Lin Mo breathes deep, refusing to retreat. In that limit state, his strength surges beyond anything before. He charges straight into the storm of debris without hesitation. His altered body moves with inhuman agility. He fights while shielding his teammates from harm. The monster falters, startled by his speed and transformation. The longer he fights, the more he realizes endurance, not fury, is true strength. The mutant shifts tactics, merging all rubble into a massive stone mass. Its destructive power multiplies, ready to crush everything. With one motion, it hurls the giant block at Lin Mo like a falling mountain. He doesn't stop, rushing forward without a step back. That flame isn't an ending, it's defiance, a dance of war in the wasteland. His rising power turns into blinding pink light, forming a punch that shatters all. In his mutated form, Lin Mo faces the stone storm alone. He smashes the entire mass apart, sending debris flying and shaking the land. Even a single shard could topple a huge structure. Buildings crumble all around as the white-skinned beast is swallowed by a sea of pink fire. Everyone watches in awe, Dorothy whispers, baffled by the crimson glow. Copine tries to speak, but Dr. Chu stops her. Even Lao Chao, a battle-hardened veteran, is stunned, thinking it's an angel. Before them stands a monster destroying another, like a celestial being descending from heaven. They hesitate, unsettled by the demonic appearance. His transformation leaves him almost unrecognizable. He wonders if he's gone too far. The surrounding area is now a barren wasteland. A familiar figure flickers within his mind. The figure claims only he has the strength to control this power. He eyes the figure warily, mocking it for finally showing itself. Chu looks pleased, face bright with eerie delight. He studies Lin Mo's reaction, as if waiting for a question. Lin Mo nods, he indeed has plenty to ask. Chu smiles faintly, saying the Mad Girl incident helped stabilize his own mind. He laughs loudly, urging Lin Mo to ask freely. Without hesitation, Lin Mo asks the true nature of the white skin. Chu raises a hand to pause him, still speaking cheerfully. He suggests answering each doubt one at a time. He explains the so-called white skin are actually empty husks, mindless shells, driven by resentment. He points at Lin Mo, implying his nature is now the same. In other words, Lin Mo has already died once. He adds that when Lin Mo died, his soul followed Chu into another reality. Time doesn't flow linearly for him. That means his old body, soulless, might be rampaging somewhere else. The words click, his fragmented memories finally align. he realizes has been traveling across dimensions. This is true transmigration. Each hollow mark and inner flame proves a traveler. Chu confirms it proudly. Elsewhere, Xiaola asks what the current mission is. Does it involve the special item the mutant brought back? She worries Sedek will rage if he learns this, since he valued it greatly. When they unseal the package, they find a severed human head. Xiaola screams in horror. In another place, the white-skin's body regenerates everything complete except its head. It mutters madly, desperately searching for its missing head. Finally, it goes berserk, roaring and destroying everything nearby. Linmo arrives just in time to stop its frenzy. He frowns, wondering if the creature might be immortal. While he's confused, Chu jokes that he should just ask the thing directly, irritating Linmo mid-chaos. Linmo snaps, angry at being called its kin. Chu sneers he's ignorant for not reading more. Chu's childish attitude baffles him. He shouts, asking why she's acting this way instead of fixing things. Before he can finish, the white-skin recovers and rushes in, forcing him to strike first. It repeats the same attack as before, but Linmo notices subtle differences. He dodges just in time, realizing the enemy's faster, yet still probing. The white-skin suddenly shifts tactics, creating a massive suction field. Linmo can't react in time. He's pulled forward, gasping in shock. Hess stunned to see the suction field far exceed all expectations. As he's pulled in, he feels the Minghe energy draining from his body. The loss of heat causes intense pain and growing discomfort. His strength fades rapidly, nearing a critical limit. He suddenly grasps the deeper meaning behind Chu's earlier words. As danger closes in, Chu's mocking voice echoes, and Linmo snaps back angrily. Suddenly, his body undergoes a bizarre transformation that shocks him. His arm detaches, and his entire white-skin form begins splitting apart. A new body forms, completely separate from him. That new body looks eerily familiar. Chu now, with his own body, smirks, saying some things must be done personally. Linmo reels in disbelief at what he's seeing. Chu laughs, declaring he was never just a parasite inside him. He reveals he gained a body once he formed a second core. The white-skin charges to attack, and Chu joins the fight instantly. But he warns that fighting now could unbalance their energy. Decisiveness is key. The white-skin repeats its suction technique, this time targeting below. Linmo instantly recognizes the same old trick. Still calm, Chu says if dodging fails, burn the suction away. He presses his hand to Linmo's heat core, preparing to strike back. The rapid heat drain makes Linmo dizzy. The white-skin's gravity pull intensifies dramatically. Chu is dragged toward it in an instant, but neither expected Chu to weaponize Linmo's own energy. By the time the white-skin realizes, it's too late. Chu's fierce counterattack tears it apart, reverting it to its base form. A strange number 13 appears on its shoulder. Elsewhere, a shadowy group monitors the battle, locking onto position 13. One is shocked it's nearby, but another explains it's still distant and confirms the white-skin is artificial. They worry the retrieval failed since a new powerful subject just emerged. Chu laughs triumphantly, saying, "This is the true might of Heisha," scolding Linmo for wasting it. Linmo freezes, realizing he's never reached his full potential. But 13 refuses to yield to its foes. It suddenly summons a unique weapon of its own. From afar, a stranger watches, intrigued by 13 being cornered. He possesses power beyond Linmo's, admitting 13 was only bait to trace the national security bunker. Gazing at his comrades, he warns early action could expose their plot. Irina of the Prophet Council sternly reminds them of their holy ties to Pastor Cross. A little girl suddenly interrupts, lightening the tense air, tapping Irina's back and startling her. Though a Prophet member, Xiao Yilin is still just a naive child. Irina sighs, thinking caring for kids truly tests one's patience. Cross chats with Han Kanyu, who explains she was delayed handling a tail. She suggests they all keep observing the battle from afar. Meanwhile, 13 forges an entirely new weapon outside. Waves of powerful gravitational force burst out repeatedly. Chu shouted orders while Linmo questioned the nature of those waves. He recalled how Chu once used gravity to suppress Shisan. Linmo quickly warned Chu about being tricked by illusions, but it was too late for Shisan to realize the trap. She was sucked in by her own gravity, unable to break free. This time, Shisan changed tactics swiftly. She reversed polarity, blasting Chu away with repulsive force. Only at close range did Chu feel the true weight of that push. Shisan leapt forward, striking with a fatal blow too fast for Chu to dodge. But something unexpected happened right after. Shisan froze as Linmo embraced Chu, blocking the attack. Linmo smirked, teasing that no matter how fast she was still slower than him. Chu replied seriously that her power wasn't about appearance. Linmo agreed, noting she matched Cross' description of Shisan. He pondered, realizing her body was perfect but her soul mismatched. A holy vessel with an incompatible soul, it's being split in two. Unlike Baidang, Shisan was a hybrid esper, half human, half power. Dr. Zhu watched quietly, doubting her own perception. She smiled softly, giving Lin Mo hope, asking him not to disappoint her again. Lin Mo's mind steadied as he recalled every clue. He analyzed Shisan's actions, especially her 2 uses of gravity through the white component. That component acted as a forward propulsion energy core. Finally, he caught the key detail, eyes blazing with excitement. He asked Chu to confirm their plan to burn the enemy, and she nodded. Chu eagerly suggested cranking up the flames even higher. She looked at Lin Mo, slowly grasping his true intention. After a moment's thought, Chu smiled, saying she understood. She requested that he offer his hand. Before Lin Mo could question, her next move left him stunned. Chu grabbed his hand and pressed it against her chest, flustering him completely. Suddenly, a small crack appeared there, revealing a heat core. Lin Mo began pulling something out from within Chu's body, just as Shisan charged in. Unaware of what was happening, Shisan attacked recklessly. From Chu's body, Lin Mo drew a blazing red dagger forged in extreme heat. Shisan was horrified by its murderous aura and destructive might. The ground and her body were sliced apart, leaving severe damage. Losing balance, Shisan collapsed to the ground. Before the burning blade that marked Lin Mo's line between life and death, he stepped forward, his aura blazing, utterly dominating the foe. Chu swiftly moved behind Shisan to strike from the blind spot. Knowing the left side generated propulsion, Chu attacked from the best angle to limit reaction. However, Shisan reacted in time, forming a repulsion shield to block. Chu confirmed her guess, the enemy could only defend with repulsion. This was Lin Mo's cue. He told himself it was his turn. Shisan could only use gravity as a fence. With no defense, she could merely redirect her attacks. Lin Mo was blown away, but it was part of his tactical plan. He smirked, realizing Shisan was like a giant magnet. She created a magnetic field he could exploit for acceleration. Using it, Lin Mo shot forward like a bullet, syncing perfectly with Chu. At the decisive instant, he unleashed all stored energy into firepower. A sea of flames erupted, sweeping through everything around. When the fire faded, Shisan had no strength left to resist. Her body was completely pierced by Lin Mo's blade. Chu seized that fleeting opportunity. She attacked while Shisan was still dazed and unable to react. Elsewhere, the observers decided to act, triggering teleportation and praying for the Chosen One. A new event, the Golden Week, officially began. Irina, a member of the Prophet Council, was teleported straight to the battlefield. Han Kanyu asked through the earpiece if she had any side effects, but Irina confidently replied she was fine and ready. But as soon as she arrived, she immediately faced Chu's presence. Chu smiled, sensing a strange mirroring, as if seeing herself. Irina's sword grazed Chu's eye, but caused no harm, like striking an illusion. Irina didn't hesitate, slashing again at once. A sharp strike shattered Chu's weapon. Then she accelerated toward Lin Mo. Lin Mo was stunned, realizing his foe was a true esper. With one blow, Irina completely finished off the remaining part of Shisan. Shisan, already subdued, was now reduced to just a spine. Irina swiftly extracted the regeneration core from within her body. Han Kanyu continued directing remotely, warning Irina to watch her back. Irina reacted instantly, parrying Chu's counterattack. Chu was defeated in a mere instant. She collapsed unconscious, luckily caught by Lin Mo. Irina held Shisan's core, confirming the target was secured. She demanded immediate extraction for her team. From another building, someone responded via comms, saying to wait for location lock. Lin Mo sternly reminded Irina to be cautious and avoid another teleport mishap. He noticed Irina making a strange motion, unsure of her intent. Confusion filled his mind, doubting her true purpose regarding Shisan. Kei Lassie sent a distant reminder, telling Kanyu to prepare for arrival. Han Kanyu was instantly teleported, catching Irina as she arrived. Irina was caught off guard, managing only a few awkward words. Han Kanyu reassured her that Shisan would be safe, making Irina furious and questioned Kei Lassie. Kei Lassie laughed it off, claiming his teleportation ability was still limited. Irritated, Irina threw Shisan's core at his face, shouting angrily. Even while hit, Kei Lassie cheerfully confirmed the item was secured and Shisan safe, though she'd need time to rebuild a body. The core was now inert, harmless. Han Kanyu spoke gently, urging Shisan to rest while following the Prophet Council's cautious orders. From afar, Lin Mo and Chu felt regret for losing Shisan, while Kei Lassie mused he should have reached out to them sooner. After the battle, only a thick white dust covered the entire city. The suffocating air made people cough inside, one asking if the fight was finally over. Dr. Zhu confirmed things were stable, while little Maggie innocently asked about the man in black. Lao Qiao glanced downstairs nervously, calling out to Mr. Lin with worry. From where he stood, there was no one in sight below. He sighed anxiously. wondering if Lin Mo had fallen from that height. Suddenly, Lin Mo appeared, dirty but smiling, joking about needing an elevator. Lao Chao half joked, half serious, asking if the fall had knocked his head. Lin Mo chuckled awkwardly and nodded as Dr. Zhu insisted on checking him. He muttered in protest, saying it wasn't necessary since he was clearly fine. Dr. Zhu teased back that a quick check wouldn't hurt, reminding him of her earlier advice. Lao Chao exhaled in relief, saying it was a blessing everyone was alive after such chaos. Even so, he worried that the broken pipes had disabled the floor's heating system. He circled around and returned, looking grim and helpless. Lin Mo stepped up, encouraging him not to be too pessimistic, assuring things weren't that bad. He shared that upon returning, he found all the previous danger signs had vanished. His tone softened, saying even if he was the last survivor, it wasn't time to despair. He pointed downward, suggesting there might be supplies or shelter on lower floors. Lin Mo placed a hand on Lao Chao's shoulder, gently reassuring him. Unaware of Lao Chao's brief change in expression, he eagerly proposed announcing the floor transfer. At that moment, Lao Chao received a strange call that made him tense up. A National Security Bureau vehicle rolled out from the base. On board were Lieutenant Huai Day, Sergeant Rolls, and Corporal Li. A voice over comms introduced itself as an agent of the National Security Bureau. Under orders, they were to assist in capturing an esper named Lin Mo. A female soldier doubted this, asking if the strange traces below had really disappeared. Dorothy picked up on it, asking if the area could be considered safe now. Dr. Zhu objected, stressing the outside was still extremely dangerous. She pointed to the roof, where the heating system was completely ruined. Lin Mo agreed, saying they should use this chance to relocate. He added that even if they were the only ones left, the lower floors were still safer. Dr. Zhu warned that cold wasn't the only threat, they also needed defenses. Lin Mo agreed fully. Lin Mo urgently asked if the security room still had weapon reserves. Lao Chao nodded slowly, saying maybe. He explained that due to poor security before the disaster, the place had been stocked with weapons, shields, and barbed wire. If used properly, they could defend the whole building, though he doubted such tools worked on monsters. Bin suddenly spoke up enthusiastically, claiming she had a way. She pulled out an electric guitar, saying that when she played, the monsters seemed frozen. The bizarre idea was instantly rejected. Dorothy and Lao Chiao didn't believe her, though Bin kept insisting. Lin Mo ignored it, assigning tasks and deciding to go downstairs with Bin despite her protests. He sternly warned not to touch anything, while Bin grumbled in displeasure. As they went downstairs, a strange device quietly monitored them. Bin whispered she just wanted to check and retrieve her instrument. In the room, she looked around, sighed, recalling how careless she'd been on her first day, then asked if Lin Mo was living okay. Lin Mo replied that life in the small town wasn't like this, guessing Shed worked hard. Bin laughed, saying that was normal, making him thoughtful. He thought to himself that normal had become a luxury now. Since the Ice Age and Void Bloom began, stability had grown fragile and unreachable. He wondered how long this fleeting peace could last, anxiety weighing heavier. After so many disasters, everyone was exhausted. Rest never enough to heal. Each carried their own burden inside. No matter the pain or despair, they still had reasons to keep fighting. With body and spirit torn apart, survival was the only option. Lin Mo suddenly called Bin softly, making her turn in surprise. He looked straight into her eyes, saying he had something strange to share. Bin felt uneasy, asking why he spoke as if something big was coming. But Lin Mo stayed serious, saying what he'd tell her was true, believe it or not. Bin doubted him, asking if his head got messed up after fighting monsters. Lin Mo went straight to the point. Wasn't she wondering why an old friend suddenly had powers and acted so differently? Bin hesitated, then admitted yes. He took a deep breath, revealing the truth. The man before her was another Lin Mo from a parallel timeline, who had died and whose spirit now inhabited her friend's body. He stressed that the body's true owner was no longer present. Bin was stunned, unable to hide her shock. Lin Mo stayed calm, saying he understood her disbelief, but as his friend, she deserved to know. He added that the future would be chaotic, and hiding it would only cause trouble. Bin slowly regained composure, lit a cigarette, and sneered that to her. He was just a childhood friend who disappeared. She looked straight at him, asking if that was true. Lin Mo was surprised by her indifferent tone, not expecting her calm. Bin smiled suddenly, extending a friendly hand, suggesting they start over. She's Bin, Lin Mo's best friend. Lin Mo laughed, shaking his head, feeling oddly relieved. She continued, her tone teasing and ironic. So what if you said it? Does anything really change? She laughed, pointing at him. Think about it. You're still Lin Mo, right? Like the real Lin, Mo died, possessed another body, and now pretends to be mysterious and cool. Lin Mo laughed heartily, grasping her hand with warmth. Lin Mo. Nice to see you again. But don't smoke in my room, okay? Oh, sorry. Bin stubbed out her cigarette carelessly. At the same time, outside, the National Security Bureau's vehicle rolled quietly down the road. Inside, young officer R. asked Lieutenant Hoide why they were dragged into this mess. He wondered why a small rescue team had to meddle in Death Division and special combat work. Hoide didn't answer immediately, silently watching through the window before speaking slowly. He said, though time was short, the rescue team needed some basic intel, admitting he understood R.'s doubts. His gaze sharpened. Every past case of mass data loss was man-made. The people they were targeting were the same ones his unit pursued. The car sped through the night as Agent Hoide spoke in a deep, firm voice. When the frost spread, the Security Bureau entered emergency mode, but all comms were abruptly cut, throwing plans into chaos. Lieutenant Hoai interjected, stressing their team had been delayed long due to lack of orders. Had once claimed the outage came from the monsters, yet now said otherwise. The creatures were strong but not enough to erase every backup signal system. The only logical cause was sabotage from within the chain of events felt too neatly staged. Once communication was restored, an investigation began suspecting a hidden faction with no recorded files. Sergeant Rudder protested, saying no group could exist beyond the reach of top authority. A nearby woman argued that if humans were involved, there must be traces left behind. She questioned how any organized entity could stay completely invisible. Agent Hoai smiled, saying espers were the very shadows she imagined. She stood up, asking if that wasn't just a codename. Hoai admitted had thought so too, until they made contact after the disaster. He pulled out a gleaming pendant, showing it as proof. With a low, solemn tone, he expressed regret. The Esper group worked in darkness against them. Lieutenant believed they also hunted other gifted individuals. Corporal Lee cautiously suggested the group might consist of people with varied powers. Agent Hoai agreed, saying he lacked clearance for deeper info, so Li's guess might be right. From what he knew, the one called Number 0 was the only traceable case and possibly the key to all mysteries. The car screeched to a halt, putting Hoida instantly on guard. Lee nervously asked what happened as he looked outside. Outside, survivors stood blocking the road despite the brutal weather. Hoide decided to step out and check personally. He approached calmly, introducing himself as relief personnel. The group begged to be rescued from Brooklyn, which they called Hell. Hoida hesitated, mission urgent, yet tried to keep his tone gentle. His answer only made them more suspicious and uneasy. Finally, his team offered supplies from the vehicle, but the offer only fueled their resentment. Oi spotted hidden weapons in their hands while Hoide kept a steady tone, preparing to react. As expected, they lunged to attack all at once. Several pinned Hoide down so their comrades could strike, but before anyone could act, gunfire erupted. Oi neutralized the targets instantly with precise bursts. The body count rose as the skirmish unfolded. On a nearby balcony, another assailant prepared a Molotov cocktail. Oi immediately detected the threat. As the man lit the fuse, Oi shifted stance with instinctive reflex. He locked his aim on the raised bottle. One shot fired. The explosive ignited, engulfing the attacker and hurling him off the railing. Using the chaos, Hoide subdued the remaining enemies. Oi kept taking them down with cold, decisive shots. One tried to flank him, but Oi's sharp eyes caught it. He drew his gun smoothly, like second nature. The bullet pierced the target's heart, dropping him instantly. Oi declared the area secure, and the team began cleanup. Hoida ordered departure as one soldier trembled, asking who those attackers really were. He sighed, saying desperate humans become both hopeless and dangerous, and hoped Number 0 wouldn't end up like that. Elsewhere, Number 0 was hauling supplies while Bin complained about being sidelined. Bin pointed to a corner, excitedly suggesting it as a greenhouse spot, and nagging if he was even listening. He joked that scavenging felt like free shopping. Eventually, the team agreed to build the greenhouse on the east side of the third floor. The west side of that floor would serve other needs. Floor 6 was ruined, and floors 4 and 5 damaged, so they stayed on 3 for safety. The 2 lower floors were turned into traps and defensive layers for their forward base. Lin stood with folded arms, feeling something vital was still missing. Meanwhile, Lao Chao and Sin bragged about their old exploits, each trying to outdo the other. Lao Chao smirked, challenging Sin to a friendly match. Cin accepted instantly, eager to spar. Lin Mo watched with silent amusement at their childish energy. Suddenly, Dr. Zhu called him over the comms with an icy tone, demanding he come at once. He barely replied before being scolded to hurry up. As soon as he arrived, Dr. Zhu sternly asked if he had encountered one of his own kind. He confirmed, adding that shed taken the core of a pale creature. Zhu then played a strange radio broadcast for comparison. A hypnotic voice echoed, claiming to comfort survivors in the frozen world. Lin Mo frowned, confused by the scattered message, asking why she made him listen. The next part compared the frost calamity to divine punishment. The voice blamed the government for manipulating and imprisoning people's minds. They were accused of driving humanity into sin, yet the broadcast glorified the divine as salvation, promising blessings for pure souls, and elevating a chosen group as holy apostles. It hinted that the Latu group and their allies were that force. They massacred both monsters and civilians for their own agenda, while arbitrarily classifying victims as they pleased. They called themselves the Prophet Council, claiming to guide mankind. The broadcast reached government channels, inciting rebellion. They urged people to join the Holy Order for forgiveness and entry to their so-called heaven. Zhu shut it off, eyeing him critically, asking his thoughts. Lin Mo shrugged, calling it nothing more than an anti-government cult. He added that the so-called divine grace they preached felt like Esper power. Could it be related? Zhu nodded, admitting that possibility was entirely plausible. Her face darkened, as if touching on a deadly secret. She spoke of an old urban legend, claiming the government was once manipulated by a secret order under many names. That order truly existed, the Prophet Council. Originally a clandestine cult, used as a covert tool abroad, they infiltrated the state apparatus, even the highest levels of power. Thus, the Ministry of Defense founded the National Duty Bureau to eradicate this traitorous faction. Zhu bitterly said that history was buried. The Prophet Council supposedly wiped out, yet now it resurfaced amid the apocalypse. Hearing that, Lin Mo interrupted, asking if all this was top secret. Zhu sneered that she once dated a shady intelligence agent, hence her inside knowledge. She froze at the mention of that name until someone asked if she was okay. Regaining composure, she explained, eradicated meant none left alive, and from that drew a bold hypothesis. Zhu looked straight at him, hinting both the Prophet Council and Espers might come from another dimension. She even used him as proof, calling him a phantom, startling him. He widened his eyes, asking how she knew that secret, then glanced down at the pendant, muttering as if scolding the spirit within for eavesdropping. Zhu laughed, teasing that such a bond between two men sounded awfully sentimental. She crushed her cigarette, concluding that if her theory was right, the Prophet Council had already taken interest in him, and they now had a new threat to monitor. Zhu waved him off, dumping chores on him, leaving Lin Mo grumbling that had been summoned just to haul stuff. On Huaide's side, the team seriously discussed the Prophet Council, with Li wondering why their files were completely blank. He asked if there was some hidden story behind it. Joe Stab hinted it tied back to the founding of the National Service Bureau, but Huaide cut her off sharply. He reminded her of the reason she was reassigned from intelligence, as a warning. OI interjected, saying comms were still unstable, so head be brief. The Prophet Council was confirmed linked to Espers, making Target Zero the top priority. He added that command had granted Huaide supreme authority to expedite the mission. Any defiance would count as obstructing humanity's salvation campaign. With this power, Huaide could eliminate threats and activate other special units at will. In room 303, the group gathered around, enjoying freshly made burgers. Little Maggie took a huge bite, eyes sparkling with joy. Dorothy praised Lin Moss Miracle Farming for providing today's meal ingredients. He modestly said it was just agricultural know-how. Joking that the new tech deserved credit, Maggie gave him a thumbs up. Lao Chiao opened the fridge and found a bottle of well-aged liquor. Dorothy explained Shed kept it because he often reminisced about home, which delighted him. He handed Lin Mo some lime leaves and salt to prepare the drink properly. Lin Mo looked puzzled, not sure what was happening. Lao Chiao cheerfully explained it was the proper way to drink tequila, a treat for his savior. He kept praising until Lin Mo blushed, but finally laughed and agreed to toast. Lin Mo followed the guide, licking salt first to awaken his taste buds. Then he took a sip of the strong liquor as instructed. Finally, the sour lemon hit him, leaving him slightly confused. Still, Lao Chiao happily offered drinks to everyone, but Dr. Chu coldly refused, saying she neither smokes nor drinks. Dorothy suddenly noticed Cin was missing and wondered where Head gone. She remembered Sin was on guard duty today, essentially on a mission. She wanted to bring him food, but Lin Mo politely declined, saying Head go. Dorothy smiled and said she could do it herself. Yet, every move of theirs was already under outside surveillance. The Security Bureau agents were ready, and OI ordered an emergency comms check. Sergeant Vode instantly confirmed all clear. Other squads reported in, but Zose mentioned a small glitch with Xiao Li Zi's unit. Meanwhile, Li still didn't grasp the situation. Huai did decisively ordered an immediate inspection. Sergeant Just quietly switched to a private channel, evading OI's monitoring. Huai Day pressed her, asking if anything shady required strong measures. Zose believed Zero wasn't a threat, but suspected he was hiding something. Huai Day seemed to understand her, hinting the suspicion might involve high-level secrets. He winked knowingly but warned her that nothing could really stop her anyway, so he told her to act with extreme caution. Just only smiled with a sly glint. Then Huai Day's team began executing their own plan. He firmly ordered the mission to commence. Meanwhile, inside, the group was chatting when Lao Qiao suddenly mentioned his daughter. He slowly shared that he once had a family but hadn't seen his daughter in 20 years. Drinking as he spoke, Dr. Chu worriedly reminded him his wound wasn't healed and that the girl must be around her age now. With teary eyes, Lao Qiao grabbed her hand, choking out his daughter's name in apology. Drunkenly, he kept calling out Huanwana over and over. Hearing that name, Chu froze, sensing something strange. He sobbed harder, blaming himself for failing to protect his wife and child. Lin Mo glanced at Chu and smiled softly, earning a gentle scold from her. He briefly thought to himself, that family warmth seemed to melt the cold outside completely. But just then, a dry electric pop echoed, plunging the room into darkness. He frowned, guessing the generator had failed. Chu instantly grew alert, realizing it wasn't a simple malfunction. Even tipsy, Lao Qiao suddenly sobered up, saying destiny had come. He jumped up, grabbing his gun and knife, startling the others to ask what he was doing. Outside, Owai's team broke into the apartment, but got blocked at the entrance. Li nervously questioned the intel's reliability, but Huai coldly replied they'd know once inside. Finding a maintenance duct, they quickly crawled through to advance deeper. The team reached the third floor where everyone was hiding. Jones ordered the feed sent to HQ once the connection stabilized. Huai ordered a full sweep of the floor, prioritizing civilian control. He told the three-person team to stick together and drop formalities for now. The group immediately split up to act. In the room, everyone regrouped. Lin Mo asked Chu, but she was just as clueless. He scanned around, searching for anything unusual. Chu turned to observe the one who had just rushed in. Miss Bin, panting, brought bad news. Armed men had appeared. She said they acted anything but friendly. They split into teams, searching every corner. At that moment, a figure suddenly leapt before the intervention squad. Huai and Li instantly raised their guns in alert. Tension stretched tight as a wire. The stranger wore full armor, making it unclear if he was guard or civilian. Huai stepped forward, introducing his unit and their rescue mission. The man replied in a low, mocking tone. It was Lao Qiao, behind a cold mask. He sneered, asking since when they started caring about others' fates. Sergeant Jost noticed something odd on the mask display that felt familiar. She accessed the internal database, and luckily found the needed data. She urgently reported to Lieutenant Huai that the man wasn't a civilian. Shocking him, she confirmed it was Rose Dapp, a notorious criminal once secretly seized by the FBI. Dapp was infamous for brutality, using corpses to escape, later recruited as a government informant. Hearing that, the lieutenant relaxed, thinking he was an ally, but Lao Qiao suddenly roared in rage, mocking the very idea. In a flash, he drew his knife. He attacked the lieutenant off guard, shouting they had killed his daughter. The deadly strike severed two of Huai fingers. He charged again, blade flashing, crying for his daughter Gianna. In agony, the lieutenant still tried to block with his bare hands. Lao Qiao pressed harder, venting hatred and disbelief. Corporal Li locked onto the target, ready to shoot. He shouted for his superior to duck. As the lieutenant bent, Li fired a bullet shot straight into Lao Qiao's head. But the old man didn't budge. The strange mask left him unhurt. Lao Qiao coldly kicked the lieutenant backward, then swiftly pulled a hidden sharp dart. The dart flew straight toward Corporal Li. The strike was too fast to dodge. Blood spurted from Li's wound where the dart hit. In the chaos, Agent Oi tried to call in a status report, but only Static answered, making him suspect something was wrong. Right then, Lin Mo appeared behind him, speaking cryptically about the snowstorm. He remarked that in such weather, rats seek shelter where humans are. With lightning reflexes, Oi spun and aimed his gun at Lin Mo. But when he turned, Lin Mo had vanished without a trace. His voice echoed from the dark, mocking how noisy agents were. Agent Oi coldly replied, declaring himself from national security. He stated clearly that he was there to arrest Lin Mo. But as he aimed, Lin Mo again dissolved into nothingness. He reappeared behind Oi, joking about being hunted amid a snowstorm. Lin Mo moved swiftly behind him, questioning their so-called duty to maintain order. He raised his voice, suspecting they were hiding something serious. Agent Oi turned, warning Lin Mo not to push his luck unless he wanted real trouble. Lin Mo scoffed, daring him to see if he could even take him down. Oi reloaded without hesitation. He unleashed a full magazine toward Lin Mo in seconds, but Lin Mo dodged like the wind, evading every bullet effortlessly. Seizing the opening, he lunged forward to counterattack. The strike knocked Oi's radio to the floor. Lin Mo frowned, puzzled why his hit missed. Agent Oi calmly countered, radiating icy confidence. His words struck deep, making Lin Mo pause. Something felt wrong. Oi explained his intuition, let him predict every opponent's move. Lin Mo narrowed his eyes, demanding Oi's true identity. Oi no longer hid it, saying, had been clear from the start. He declared proudly he was with a national organization. His name was Din, a rare ability user. Meanwhile, Sergeant Zhu completely lost contact with her team, calling in vain. Only broken signals came through, leaving her confused. Static interference made communication impossible. Elsewhere, Corporal Lee dragged Huai to safety, calling for backup. Suddenly, another dart shot out from the dark. It struck Lee, sending him into searing pain. Both collapsed but refused to give up. Struggling to stand, they retaliated instantly, aiming at the hidden attacker. But the enemy had vanished without a trace. Another shadow quietly appeared behind them. Before it could strike, a powerful kick landed. Lin Mo was kicked out of the room, crashing into Lao Chao. The sudden impact left both disoriented and confused. Dazed, Lin Mo recognized Lao Chao by his familiar smell of liquor. He quickly pulled him up, glancing at the two ahead, sensing familiarity. But before he could ask, someone else approached, footsteps rumbling like thunder. Lin Mo stopped, exhaled sharply, saying they had to deal with this one first. Sergeant Jost witnessed everything from afar and urgently called in a report. In front of her stood a soulless creature under control, charging at the group. It raised its hand to attack Jost, caring nothing about sides. Luckily, OI chained its neck from behind just in time. The creature froze, responding only to Oi's command. OI pointed at Lin Mo, ordering the empty shell to change target. As an ability user, OI was no stranger to bizarre powers. Lin Mo faced danger from all sides, an ability wielder, a hollow shell, enemies, and the unconscious Lao Qiao to protect. Staring at the man before him, he sighed, knowing the coming fight was inevitable. He set Lao Qiao against the wall, murmuring an apology like a farewell. Before everyone's eyes, Lin Mo transformed into a warrior, his aura surging fiercely. OI stayed calm, but inwardly admitted Zero was truly formidable. Noticing his reaction, Lin Mo smirked, silently confirming he knew something. Without delay, OI ordered the hollow shell to attack and capture Lin Mo. Yet Lin Mo remained eerily calm, attuning himself to every detail around. He sensed the tension, predicting the next strike was near. With Lao Chao behind him, he knew this wasn't a good place to fight. Even so, he chose to counterattack without hesitation. The sudden retaliation made the hollow shell hesitate, perhaps due to its cautious controller. OI muttered sharply, realizing Lin Mo's move involved sound-based manipulation. Seizing the distraction, Lin Mo dashed forward like lightning. His mighty punch shattered much of the building's structure, but an invisible shield completely blocked the blow. The impact was so great both fell to the floor below, chaos erupting. Reeling, Lin Mo realized the situation was growing more complicated. His opponent possessed a special ability, nearly immune to damage. It was a heightier dual shield power, almost unbreakable. Yet Lin Mo spotted a weakness. The control chain was the key link. Instead of striking the hollow, he aimed at the controller to end it at the root. OI calmly urged him to surrender, saying resistance was useless. Lin Mo bent low, eyes firm, knowing speed was his only edge. He retorted boldly that, without trying, no one would know the result. He then burst forward at a speed beyond sight, his body streaked like thunder, tearing through the air. But OI anticipated it, dodging and coldly repeating his warning. He claimed his intuition had already read every attack pattern. This time, Lin Mo completely shifted strategy to break the stalemate. He unleashed a flurry of feints, scrambling OI's perception. Moving like a phantom, he mocked that if there's only one path, he'd make dozens more. Simultaneously, he triggered false strikes, shaking the entire space. Inwardly, he affirmed that speed was the key to turning the tide. OI stayed calm. But the moment his intuition faltered, Lin Mo struck, shattering the control chain. Once broken, the hollow shell immediately broke free of command. From its arms sprouted a sharp metallic spike gleaming with death. It lunged forward at terrifying speed, matching Lin Mo's pace. OI pressed his lips, declaring that speed wasn't Lin Mo's sole domain. Lin Mo froze in shock, unsure what was happening. The massive hollow possessed both immense speed and power. It slammed down, nearly crushing Lin Mo beneath its bulk. He barely countered in time, avoiding fatal injury. Under crushing pressure, he gritted his teeth, feeling swallowed alive. At that instant, OI pressed a gun to his head, ready to end it. He coldly warned that if Lin Mo died here, his body would never make it through the blizzard. But Lin Mo calmly replied that threats were useless. OI had no right to kill him. Meanwhile, fragments of the black shard armor began clustering and morphing, as he taunted OI for being a puppet obeying orders. The disintegrated armor pieces continued to gather, vibrating strangely. They slowly formed a new, mysterious shape. OI hesitated for the first time, wary of the transforming fragments. Though cornered, Lin Mo held firm, patiently awaiting the weapon's completion. Layer by layer, the armor converged, signaling a turning point in the battle. Seizing the moment, he darted past OI, rushing toward the forming weapon. OI reacted instantly, firing non-stop to stop him. But Lin Mo's speed made the bullets seem frozen mid-air. When his hand touched the weapon, two forces clashed violently. A massive explosion erupted, shaking the entire area. As the dust cleared, OI muttered in confusion at the sight. A new surge of power around Lin Mo sent fierce shockwaves outward. He had fully evolved, donning a new gray-white form far beyond before. The weapon born from the shards gleamed razor-sharp with killing intent. He planted it into the ground, standing tall like a descended war god. His calm voice declared, "Round 2 had begun," with challenge in every word. OI studied closely, confirming intel was right. Lin Mo could evolve endlessly. Without hesitation, he resolved to end it now, before another transformation. The hollow shell charged like an unstoppable war machine. It unleashed lightning-fast strikes toward Lin Mo. But had been warned, the blue glow signaled absorption, and he was ready. He twisted his stance, triggering the counter mechanism. He absorbed the hollow's attacks like an energy funnel. Instantly, his weapon flared a fiery crimson red. He recalled the color code and converted the energy into a counterblast. OI froze, stunned by the incomprehensible power before him. Lin Mo took aim, arm drawn back like a javelin thrower. He hurled the spear, forged from black shard armor, with full might. The devastating throw tore through concrete layers, shaking the whole floor, a true threat to OI's side. Only then did OI realize Lin Mo's intent to turn defense into offense, transforming energy into a weapon. But it was too late. The spear blazed with killing light, flying straight at him. In a flash, the hollow dashed in, shielding OI from the incoming strike. The clash between weapon and energy barrier ripped through the air. Both carried equal force fields, creating a deadly interaction zone. Upon impact, the energies canceled, collapsing like punctured bubbles. But unlike ordinary bubbles, the collision triggered a massive explosion. A violent blast swept across the entire area, throwing both sides back. The destructive force exceeded OI's expectations, leaving him shocked. He muttered in disbelief, unable to process what had happened. The hollow shell was completely disabled, lying motionless on the ground. OI retracted it with a somber tone, apologizing softly for its pain. Turning to Lin Mo, he taunted, "What's wrong? Not going to continue?" Lin Mo answered frankly, admitting he knew he couldn't win now. Hearing that, OI frowned but didn't argue. Both stood in tense standoff. Lin Mo pointed his weapon directly at his foe, declaring their deadlock. OI sneered, denying it. "You're mistaken. 0A. Each word cutting deep. He compared Lin Mo to the white beings rising from the frozen snow. His icy gaze pierced deep, rejecting the idea of stalemate. Then, with a voice like thunder striking earth, he commanded, "Strike." A distorted electric guitar riff erupted, blending with a bizarre voice singing, "Here come they N again." Falling from Testis, the sound made Lin Mo's head spin, his senses reeling violently. Each note cut like a blade, slicing through his body and tearing every cell apart. Under that assassin melody's influence, the white armor began to dissolve. The parasitic entity inside thrashed wildly, but was soon completely subdued. Lin Mo reverted to human form, his body no longer corrupted. His vision blurred, sinking into darkness. Before fainting, he barely saw the blurry figure of the sound controller. As things quieted, OI scolded the newcomer for arriving too late. The newcomer smirked sarcastically, asking if Head missed the dramatic part. OI nodded too much. Lin Mo, overwhelmed by parasite and sound alike, had passed out, but OI no longer cared. He turned to thank the newcomer, Agent Ki Bing, for intervening in time. Cold as ice, Ki Bing refused his gratitude, saying no need for manners. Just half an hour earlier, Shed'd still been asleep in her room. Seen lying motionless in the surveillance chamber, one could mistake her for dead. Meanwhile, OI's squad coordinated smoothly, breaking locks and reaching the monitor floor. Only when OI pressed a gun to her cheek did Ki Bing finally stir. As she opened her eyes to their wary stares, she flinched in shock. She hurried to explain, insisting Shed reformed long ago. But OI wasn't fooled, ordering verification under code BB21, GUN. Surprisingly, Ki Bing responded perfectly, confirming the cipher smell like dead in spirit a bad boy's code. Another command followed, requesting weapon-based authentication. She complied, reporting fully and awaiting orders. Corporal Lee, puzzled, asked Huai who this troublesome girl really was. But before an answer came, Ki Bing suddenly collapsed onto the table, as if unconscious. At that moment, all power shut down, plunging everything into deadly silence. Huai frowned, urgently calling Rose to assess the situation. Sergeant Zeus on the line admitted helplessly the old system couldn't be remotely controlled. Soon after, Ki Bing abruptly regained consciousness. OI firmly ordered capture of Lin Mo and rescue of remaining survivors. He handed her a communicator for briefing, but she cut him off, saying, "Wait." She pointed out the blackout likely made Lin Mo and others relocate. They needed to split up to track them. Sternly, she stated that with current firepower they couldn't see Zero, but she had another plan. What she needed was the electric guitar, currently with the other group. Upon arriving, she reported and was asked anxiously about Lin Mo. K. Bing deliberately gave a vague reply to distract them, but the sharpied girl, Margie, noticed a small screen in the corner. The mischievous child tapped the lens, accidentally knocking something important down. Margie panicked, apologizing repeatedly. Dr. Chu approached and picked up the fallen object, wondering what it was. Looking closely, she realized it was a special camera, marked with the National Security Bureau's insignia. At that moment, K. Bing stopped hiding. She drew her gun, pointing it at Chu, demanding her real identity. Dorothy panicked, clutching her daughter tightly, shouting for K. Bing to stop. Dr. Chu's eyes flickered in admission. Everything had been exposed. K. Bing, cold and furious, accused Chu of being a traitor to the National Biochem Organization. Unable to stand by, Chu Xunsha drew her hidden gun. But K. Bing reacted faster, pulling the trigger instantly. The shot roared. The shell clattered across the floor, a cold metallic echo. Dorothy and her daughter froze in terror, panicking at the sudden gunfire. The bullet only grazed Chu Xunshia's hair, burning part of her long locks. K. Bing's tone stayed icy, warning that next time, it wouldn't miss. She ordered firmly for Xunsha to raise her hands and turn around for inspection. Chu smirked, complying calmly. Her singed hair changed her look, but her aura stayed cool. She replied confidently, questioning if the organization's real goal was not Lin Mo but his erased memories. Her cryptic sarcasm left Sin confused, unsure of her hidden meaning. At that moment, an urgent voice over comms reported Alpha missing, Bravo and Delta injured. K. Bing replied, Shed found survivors. She added slyly that a doctor was present. After the chaos, the security team took a brief rest. An old man reassured them Rotor's wounds were stitched. The words eased Corporal Rotor, calming his nerves. Suddenly, Lieutenant Huai froze mid-conversation, raising suspicion on the other end. Cin quietly observed, realizing Head brought Chu Shengxia to treat the old man, then asked Rotor about activating a private channel. Sin glanced at the bound Chu Shengxia, whose eyes gleamed with defiance and mockery. She tied her hair back, snapping that betrayal needs no riddles. The truth speaks for itself. Cin grew deeply suspicious, believing the freezing incident linked to traitorous agents like her. But Chu stayed unshaken, declaring they were the real traitors. Then, she dropped 3 words that froze everyone. Project Europa. Cin's face drained of color, his eyes trembling at the name. Chu explained that Europa, Jupiter's second moon, was thought capable of sustaining life. She sneered, mocking yet it's frozen. Just like New York now, isn't it? She bluntly compared present-day New York to that dead world. Glaring at the agents, she provocatively questioned why they named the project. So, was it tied to the Prophet Order? Cin turned back furiously, emotions barely restrained. He threatened her at gunpoint, his tone heavy with warning. The woman retorted sharply, words cutting enough to enrage Saina, though he held back. Ah Hung shifted his gaze toward Lieutenant Huai Dai, seeking a reaction. Seeing disapproval, Cin immediately adjusted his demeanor. He suddenly slapped her hard to intimidate, asserting dominance. Then he contacted Road, reporting their support and rescue plan. Chu Shengxia noticed the fear hidden behind their composed fronts. Lin Mo remained fully subdued, unconscious. The team wrapped up their mission. Corporal Li worried about what might happen when Lin awoke, but Cn reassured him. Even if he did wake, Lin Mo would be unable to fight for now. That condition resulted from the isolin drug injected into his body. All restraint protocols were based on Chu Shengxia's own research, the same traitor's work. Agent Y Nuo and Corporal Li cooperated to extract Lin Mo from the scene. Cin stares coldly at Lin Mo, yet regret flickers beneath the chill. Her emotions hide neatly under that frozen mask. Sergeant Li curiously asks about the next move now that things have calmed down. Huai Di suddenly flips the script, asking Li why he joined the organization. Li freezes, eyes darting. This question came out of nowhere. The lieutenant suspects they're tangled in something big, worry creeping into his tone. Agent OI rushes in, checking if everyone's still in one piece. Without waiting, he reports comms restored and a safe house found in Manhattan. Li exhales in relief, while Huai Dai stays unreadable and deep in thought. Agent OI suddenly brings up one crucial loose end. He asks about that strange creature seen inside the apartment. Li snaps back fast, denying everything with soldierly conviction. His hand rests on his gun, ready for whatever jumps out next. Huai Dai firmly says, nothing suspicious was found, besides the main target. Agent OI seems satisfied and shelves his doubts for now. He pauses, turns back once, and thanks the team sincerely for their solid teamwork. Then, the group quickly pulls out, heading for the nearest safe zone. Elsewhere, the Esper team moves out, with Can Yu monitoring for anomalies. She calmly explains the delay. One intruder is far more dangerous than the rest. She orders the next step, wishing the others success under divine pretense. The Bureau's vehicle rolls toward the designated evacuation site. Silence fills the car. Little Mi clings to her mom in fear. The girl points at Lin Mo, tied up, asking why he's restrained. She also notices others detained, while Lao Chao wakes up looking lost. Maggie protests loudly, baffled why good people are treated like criminals. She eyes a stranger suspiciously, finger raised in doubt. Her shock deepens. He looks eerily like someone from her family. Duoluoxi tries explaining, but Maggie stubbornly clings to her belief. Dr. Chu can't help but chuckle, clearly amused by the scene. Bin frowns, questioning the reason for that smug laugh. Chu Shunya replies cryptically, truth is best seen through a child's eyes. She keeps mocking, making Bin bristle in offense. Meanwhile, Luode silently observes Lieutenant Huaide's every move. Li notices Huaide taking some medicine, concern flickering on his face. Li speaks up to comfort him, urging the commander to stay strong. Luode asks about his wound. Li shrugs it off, hiding the pain. He mutters that his injury is nothing compared to his leader's loss, then bitterly adds the nation feels just as powerless as he does. Luode says nothing, walks off to register the survivors. In the back cabin, she unexpectedly runs into an old acquaintance, Chu Shunya. The air thickens instantly, as Luode's eyes turn icy. Chu smirks wickedly, mocking the other woman's looks. Furious, Luode hurls files at Kobian and lunges at Shunya. Chu taunts her further, dragging up Luode's disgraceful past. Luode explodes in rage. Bin steps in as Shunya keeps jeering with a smirk. Luode points at Chu Shunya, accusing her of causing her downfall and betraying their old friendship. Chu calmly replies that both sides once benefited from that dangerous deal. Just as tension peaks, Oi storms in, his sharp gaze sweeping the room. He orders everyone to stop immediately. Oi points outside, voice tight. Someone's tailing them. The external surveillance feed flickers to life. They spot a motorcycle following its rider is Can Yu. With one glance, Luode senses this opponent's power far exceeds human limits. She's puzzled that Can Yu seems unfazed by the freezing cold. Chu explains coolly, it's a signature trait of espers. She elaborates that they absorb ambient energy to sustain abnormal states, prompting Luode to recall Lin Mo. Chu confirms and adds, they've evolved to withstand Arctic climates. Keeping her distance, Can Yu draws her unique energy pistol. With calm precision, she aims and fires without hesitation. That weapon clearly screams Heidier Esper tech. The shot misses, but its sheer force proves how deadly she is. The Bureau's vehicle shakes violently, yet speeds onward. The impact throws everyone into chaos and panic. Can Yu stays icy, muttering shall just try again. Driver Li panics, clueless about what just hit them. Huaide barks for more speed to shake off pursuit. He warns the enemy is closing in fast. Then a loading click echoes from their side this time. Oi jumps up and takes position at the gun mount. He fires repeatedly at Can Yu's bike, but Can Yu counters easily. Her weapon can annihilate with one pull. Oi senses danger incoming, shouting a warning. He slams the car door shut to brace for the counterattack. A massive explosion blasts the Bureau's car off the road. The vehicle flips amid dust and shattered asphalt. It finally skids to a stop by the bridge, barely intact. Can Yu brakes hard, regaining balance. From above, she surveys the wreck below. Seeing the destroyed car, she frowns she might have overdone it. But miraculously, the car flips itself upright, still operational. However, cracks spider across Can Yu's gun. One more trigger pull, and the weapon shatters uncontrollably. Even her helmet splits. She curses the lousy gear just as Irina calls in. Removing her helmet, Can Yu coolly replies and suggests checking the cargo. While Irina's surprised the mission wasn't a breeze, Can Yu answers with her trademark lazy excuse, equal parts evasion and apathy. Inside the wrecked Bureau car, chaos reigns as Lin Mo lies unconscious. Luode anxiously asks Chu Shunya if they can still go on. Chu calmly says the road was never meant to be easy. Agent Oi urgently demands Lin Mo's condition report. Chu confirms he's stable, but Luode fumes at the obsession with Subject Zero. Chu promptly checks on the others and gets reassurance from a survivor. A voice from the back confirms Duoluoxi and Maggie are safe amid the wreck. Oi turns to Luode, bluntly questioning her vague attitude. He states his duty is to protect and deliver Subject Zero, nothing more. His icy tone and firm stare leave no room for argument. Luode hesitates, unsure what he's implying about her team. Suddenly realizing something, she bolts toward the cockpit. She shouts frantically for everyone to stay back. Up front, Huaide and Li are trapped under fallen debris. Li insists he's fine, despite being stuck. But Huaide's bleeding badly, prompting Chu Shunya to rush over. He calmly tells her not to panic. He smiles faintly at Luode, saying he's not dead yet, then falls silent. Pointing outside, his tense gaze hints he's seen something alarming. Headlights reveal a scene that freezes everyone in shock. He sighs, admitting the situation's far worse than expected. Outside, countless twisted husks swarm and encircle the area. Even OI mutters nervously. He's never seen this many husks before. He steadies himself, hatching a counterattack plan. He calls to CIN, asking about sound amplification, but Bin's too shaken to answer clearly. She reminds him the instrument's broken, no sound tricks this time. With no choice, OI reverts to plain old firepower. As Luode passes, he asks for backup weapons, but she ignores him. Luode strides straight to Chu Shunya, confusing her. Without a word, Luode cuts her restraints. Chu freezes, unsure if it's trust or a test. Luode hands her a medkit, eyes sharp with urgency. She clarifies it's not forgiveness, just using Chu skills to save Huaida. She orders Chu to treat the commander's abdominal wound immediately. Chu agrees, but admits she'll need help. Duo Luoxi volunteers, claiming she knows a bit of first aid. Maggie assures her mom she'll be fine, so she can focus. Sin eagerly offers to help, but is instantly rejected by Maggie. The girl's distrust silences Sin, who instead searches for weapons. Lao Chao asks to be untied to assist, earning a teasing remark from Luode. He growls that laws mean nothing now, only cooperation can save them. At that moment, the husks attack with renewed fury. Sergeant Lee is pierced by a sharp metal spike. He grits his teeth and holds his ground. Suddenly, a gun presses to his shoulder with a firm warning. Luode fires instantly, blasting the creature down. Her swift shot saves Lee from certain death. Meanwhile, Chu and Duo Luoxi treat Huaida as he still manages to crack jokes. But the wound's worse than expected, an artery may be severed. As the husk battle rages, Kenyu's sudden arrival puts OI on full alert. He instantly recalls another lurking threat, Tri Bing. That one, too, wields a terrifying power. Then chaos erupts as both sides clash fiercely amid the choking smoke. The real battle begins. In the engine cabin, someone silently wipes away blood, keeping utterly quiet. Chu Shunya stares at her bloodstained hands, realizing their struggle is futile if they stay trapped. Hopelessness seeps in, smothering her will. But in that moment, she spots a key chance to turn the tide. Her gaze fixes coldly yet decisively on Lin Mo. On the other front, Yi battles Can Yu in a brutal fight to the death. His eyes flash sharp, he dodges her strike with lightning reflexes. Even so, her slash shatters his gun in a spark of metal. Can Yu sneers, spouting mockery about the Lord's grace. Yi fires back, scoffing at her faith and accusing her of being from the Twilight Order. Can Yu's tone softens, whispering seductive words that stir old memories. He echoes her words, confused, as she insists he's a holy son never truly of the Bureau. She hints at something buried deep, something vital on the opposite side. Yi freezes, mumbling fragments of half-remembered phrases. A vision of a purple-haired girl appears, Bridges, his old comrade. That patrol with her resurfaces. A rare, warm memory. Yi's hand trembles as he grips the gun, torn between reason and emotion. Then truth hits, one is gone, one remains. That clarity helps him choose between past and present. He raises his weapon, voice-firm hellfight for the one he must protect, for he believes Lin Mo is the key to ending the eternal frost. At that moment, a monster bursts into the vehicle, chaos erupting, as Bin and Lao Chao swiftly take it down. Bin turns, shouting for backup, in panic. Meanwhile, Chu Shunya quietly approaches Lin Mo, untying him with fierce resolve. Before she can act, Bin rushes in, gripping her wrist suspiciously. She glares back, demanding if he has any better plan. Outside, the husks swarm tighter, waiting to devour them, and another powerful Esper still hunts nearby. On Yi's side, Can Yu lunges forward like a dark blur too fast to track. He fires, but bullets pass clean through her body. He freezes, horrified that the shots did nothing. Before he can react, Han Can Yu finds herself atop Lin Mo's vehicle, blade poised to strike. Chu Shunya glances up, violet shards shimmer in midair. Han Can Yu lands gracefully, smiling with pride and poise. Chu Shunya flings Bin's hand away, shouting for him to move. A twisted creature grabs Han Can Yu's leg at the car door. Bin leaps to assist, suggesting they use magic to counterattack. With a clean slash, Han Can Yu cuts the monster down. At that same instant, Chu Shunya injects something into Lin Mo's neck. Turning back, she sees Han Can Yu still smiling victoriously, eyes fixed on Lin Mo. Suddenly, Lin Mo's eyes snap open, a strange blue light flaring within. He jerks upright as Han Can Yu whispers seductively, "I came to take you home." Lin Mo stares at her, eyes so strange they make her flinch. A surge of green energy blasts out, hurling Han Can Yu from the vehicle. Lin Mo collapses, his torn shirt oozing glowing green fluid. Strange liquid drips from his lips as he mutters about weakness and the mysterious mask. Chu Shunya approaches, gently removing the mask from his face. She says she injected LHC serum made by Liu Kei, asking how he feels. Lin Mo stares blankly, commenting on her new hairstyle, making her blush, while he talks as if nothing's wrong. Chu suspects brain damage and taps his head like fixing a glitch, making him yelp in pain. He tries standing, clutching his stomach in agony until she steadies him, worried. Their survival now depends entirely on his condition. The monster's roars still echo outside, unending. Lao Chao grits his teeth, firing non-stop while repositioning. Sweat drips as he realizes the overwhelming enemy count. This is dire. Chu rushes over asking for sweets. Anything sugary, he stammers. He's diabetic and has none. She glances at Lin Mo, wishing for just one chocolate bar as his strength fades and hunger slurs his voice. Suddenly, a small, trembling hand offers him one. Maggie presents a chocolate bar left by her father, stirring guilt in Lin Mo. He hesitates to accept, knowing its meaning, but a stern voice urges him to take it, saying helping others is what good kids do. Beret turns to Chiaona, firmly requesting aid to evacuate Lin Mo, insisting he can handle it. Maggie insists again, her childish yet firm tone forcing Lin Mo to accept. Recognizing the brand, he winces, recalling unpleasant memories as he takes a bite. As he eats, his body glows, bright green mind cleared, ready for action. A monster suddenly lunges at Lao Chao from behind. He stumbles back, realizing his gun's empty, cursing in panic. Lin Mo shouts, commanding him to stop immediately. Before Lao Chao reacts, Lin Mo smashes the creature to dust with a glowing strike. Lao Chao claps his hands over his ears, stunned by the sheer force of that blow. A faint smile crosses Lin Mo's face as green light traces his skin, mysterious and calm. He steps over the corpse, eyes gleaming with excitement for battle. This is getting fun, he grins, as nearby monsters tremble and retreat. He frowns thoughtfully, realizing they're genuinely terrified. Just as he suspects, the monsters turn tail and flee in chaos. He stares, stunned by the sight. The horde is actually retreating. A static voice crackles from the comm, demanding a report. Yi replies quickly, saying they're in trouble, and asks for reinforcements. Amid the fleeing husks, Han Kanyu smirks arrogantly, mocking them for knowing fear despite their emptiness. Even so, she muses that humans fearing the Holy Sun is only natural, then calmly approaches Lin Mo, her hand still dripping after crushing a beast. Her eyes are cold yet profound, as she declares herself the leader of the Twilight Order, inviting him to join their sacred mission. At the mention of the cult, Lin Mo recalls the warnings and rejects her flatly without hesitation. His refusal wipes the smile from Han Kenyu's face, leaving her gaze icy. The pastor's voice orders her to retrieve the asset, and she responds with unwavering resolve. She suddenly draws a gleaming silver sword straight from her chest without flinching. Lin Mo's eyes widen. She summoned the weapon from her own body, surely her unique power. He mutters about the strange runes etched along its blade, resembling a divine inscription. Han Kenyu morphs serpent-like and lunges forward at blinding speed. Her sword whirls in a crushing reverse arc, slicing through the air. A brilliant violet flash tears open the space itself. Lin Mo dodges, but senses something unnatural. He doubts this is her only ability, something deeper hides beneath. The shattered stones vanish into the void instead of falling. He picks one up, whispering as he tests a theory. Without delay, he hurls the fragment straight at Han Kanyu. A strange mist spreads on impact. His shock grows as her body absorbs the attack entirely. Han Kanyu also looks surprised, glancing at the crack on her skin before it seals again. Intrigued, she studies it, while Lin Mo realizes it's a spatial gateway. She hints playfully that the strike was only a test, leaving Lin Mo flustered and speechless. She smiles enigmatically, claiming his true power hasn't surfaced yet. Lin Mo doesn't deny it but stays guarded, suspecting she's provoking him psychologically. Chu Shunya monitors the energy readings, worried that Lin Mo's recovery rate is too low. In truth, the parasite within him hasn't fully awakened. When fighting espers, victory depends on wielding one's power like a tactical card. Though composed outside, Lin Mo sweats inwardly. He lacks his trump card, Heisha, and fears she still hides hers. It feels like being strangled in a forest. Death could come any second. Han Kanyu suddenly leaps skyward, slashing downward as Lin Mo dodges with refined agility. She lands gracefully, eyes bright with delight. She's enjoying this duel. Even her aerial assault missed, proving his speed is exceptional. Lin Mo clenches his fists and charges like a storm, furious at her serpentine form yet determined to land a decisive blow. His punch shakes the space itself with raw force, but Han Kanyu stands unscathed, not even scratched. He freezes, stunned beyond belief. His hand has passed through her body without any physical effect. Han Kanyu beams teasingly, saying he's the first to reach that deep, leaving Lin Mo flushed, and more certain her power involves space itself. She steps closer, and Lin Mo's arm sinks deeper into her body, as if pulled into another dimension. The sudden move drenches him in sweat. He stumbles back, panicking, unable to use his skills at such close range. She presses her palm to his face, eyes gleaming with curiosity, saying his power feels strangely familiar. Her next words stun him. It's just like the Chancellor's. Horrified, Lin Mo yanks his hand back, seeing violet veins same hue as her sword spreading up his arm. At that instant, Han Kenyu's earpiece crackles with a signal, and a familiar voice orders her to stop. The contact reports they've located the National Security Bureau base, possibly housing Leader 13. Now's the time to strike. They confirm the Chancellor has approved, and Arena is already there, summoning Han Kenyu immediately. She looks at Lin Mo wistfully, remarking that beautiful moments never last, and this one ends here. Still smiling with intrigue, she crosses her twin blades, vowing next time hell learn the Lord's true doctrine. Both swords flare with blinding violet light as she readies a final strike. The blast flings Lin Mo backward. He shields his face to lessen the impact. When the light fades, Han Kenyu has vanished completely. He stands stunned, unsure what just happened, wondering if she truly retreated. Chu Xunya rushes over, checking his condition with worry. Lin Mo scans the now empty field and murmurs that they might be safe for now. Suddenly, a roaring gust and thunderous noise descend from above, startling them both. Lin Mo looks up, astonished to see a helicopter landing. On the ground, Yi stands waiting, eyes bright. Reinforcements have arrived. A squad of national security officers swiftly deploys, issuing crisp commands. They begin rescue operations, introducing themselves as part of the security division and saluting the frontline team. Chauna glances outward, suspicion flickering as she spots a familiar face. Yi hurries forward to greet the commanding officer with respect, surprised at his presence. The commander turns briefly, commends Yi for completing the mission. Yi smiles, proud of his success. Near Lin Mo and Chu Xunya, another team surrounds them, flashlights glaring, putting them on guard. Chu mutters warily, puzzled why Bureau forces left base for this mission. Lin Mo quietly senses someone important approaching. The crowd parts for two arrivals as a voice announces solemnly the capture of Subject Zero is complete. They are Gao Di, National Strategy Representative, and Barbara Ripley, Head of Biochemical Security. Barbara chuckles, clearly amused. Recognizing Barbara, Chu Xunya instantly takes a defensive stance, voice tense, while Barbara smirks mockingly. Barbara taunts her, recalling Chu's old line about meeting in hell, and notes it's finally come true. Chu steps in front of Lin Mo, demanding to know Barbara's link with Gao Di. A notorious power broker, Barbara scoffs, feigning offense. Gao Di cuts them off, speaking calmly but with palpable authority. He said they came for Lin Mo, the Esper No. 0, needed for an investigation about the ice seal incident. Lin Mo was utterly puzzled. Chu Xunya instantly blocked him, loudly warning Lin Mo not to trust that liar. She accused Gao Di of pushing the sinister Europa project behind everything. Barbara frowned in confusion, clearly unfamiliar with that plan, her eyes turning doubtful. She turned coldly to Gao Di, demanding a clear explanation of what was happening. Instead of answering, Gao Di's face changed color, alarmed and scared, asking how she even knew of that top-secret plan. Chu Xunya laughed calmly, saying she hit the weak spot. Lin Mo, puzzled, asked if she just wanted confirmation. She nodded, praising him as her finest experiment. Gao Di's face turned icy, his voice deadly, declaring Shed crossed the line, and forgiveness was off the table. His words were a remote death sentence. A sniper already had Chu Xunya in his sights. As the bullet fired, Lin Mo dashed forward and caught it midair with lightning reflexes. He smirked, joking that even fishing now required helmets, while Chu Xunya laughed proudly, eyes bright with trust. Lin Mo examined the bullet, smirking that this was just like erasing witnesses in a bad movie. Barbara lost control, grabbed Gao Di's collar, and screamed for the truth about the Ice Seal event and the Europa project. Gao Di coldly glanced at her and ordered that it wasn't time for her to know everything. He commanded the soldiers to drag her away, though Barbara kept shouting for answers. Meanwhile, Chu Xunya panicked, warning Lin Mo he was exhausted and not yet fully recovered. Lin Mo looked at his hand, the blue marks spreading, thinking if he used full power, he could end them all. Gao Di decisively ordered Lin Mo captured alive and Chu Xunya killed, igniting Lin Mo's fury, but he still thought at least he could save someone. B-Rex yelled to stop the troops, demanding Gao Di's true intent toward Dr. Chu and confirming civilians were safe. Lin Mo sprang up, shielding Chu Xunya, firmly declaring he wouldn't run anymore. He suddenly pulled her close, urgently telling her to hold on tight. Chu Xunya muttered helplessly that she knew he'd pull this stunt again. Then Lin Mo shot into the air, a blazing blue trail behind him, zipping past skyscrapers so fast the soldiers' bullets missed completely. Gao Di stood stunned, unable to believe that terrifying speed. Barbara furiously scolded him as a wooden-headed fool, reminding him Shed warned about 0 seconds hyperspeed force wouldn't work. Without arguing, Barbara used a medical trick to knock Gaudi down, wiping the last trace of arrogance from his face. Gaudi panicked, asking what to do next, insisting they chase immediately. Barbara surveyed the hollow corpses around, then coldly ordered retreat. There was still too much she needed to uncover. At that moment, Lin Mo and Chu Shunya shattered a glass window as they shot past the high-rises. He shielded her as they landed, then coughed hard from the impact. Chu Shunya quickly checked on him, worried, and realizing his condition was bad. Lin Mo looked down, seeing green fluid leaking from his wounds, hurriedly wiping it off. Chu Shunya walked to a corner, speaking calmly as if nothing was wrong, confusing Lin Mo. Suddenly she tossed something at him, telling him to catch it was a milk box. He noted it seemed frozen solid, and wondered where it came from. Looking up, he saw her sitting beside a corpse, studying it closely, as if Shed discovered something. She observed the body had long been dead, likely from a bullet to the chest. She pointed farther away, saying it looked like the two had killed each other. One might be the murderer. Maybe survivors had fought over supplies and ended up dead, but at least they got some loot out of it. Bad luck with a silver lining. Hearing that, Lin Mo fell silent, eyes dim, murmuring that others' tragedy had become their chance to live just like the old days. His mind cracked with old memories while Chu Shunya worriedly tried to pull him back to reality. She smacked his shoulder playfully, saying what mattered now was filling their stomachs. After rummaging around, Chu Shunya made a bizarre hot pot of onions, potatoes, and canned milk that stunned Lin Mo. She stayed calm, saying even Chinese restaurants had hot pots, and if he disliked it, he could ask the upstairs neighbors. Lin Mo awkwardly said he didn't mind the ingredients, just that the combo seemed a bit reckless. She defended herself, saying milk needed thawing, food didn't always need cooking, and it was efficient use of resources. Lin Mo sighed, but admitted she had a point. Suddenly he suspected she might not know how to cook at all. Chu Shunya snapped back that she was a doctor, not a chef, and picky eaters shouldn't exist in the apocalypse. Before he could reply, she shoved a steaming potato into his mouth, making him yelp from the burn. He shouted it was scorching, while she calmly explained it was an efficient calorie boost. Neither noticed someone spying behind the wall. A trembling girl hid there with a baseball bat, muttering to stay calm and not panic. Meanwhile, Chu Shunya kept teasing that they looked like a couple on a frosty date, while Lin Mo ate and complained it was too hot. She checked her watch. Her protective suit had only 23 energy left, and warned Lin Mo that while he could handle cold, she couldn't. With the system about to shut down, they had to find a recharge station fast. At that moment, she spotted a shadow moving behind Lin Mo and reacted instantly. She stepped in front of him, drew her gun, and shouted a warning for the stranger not to move. A shaky voice answered from behind the wall as a girl slowly stepped out. She tripped over a corpse and fell face first to the floor. Losing grip, she accidentally hit herself with the baseball bat. Chu Shunya kept the gun aimed, questioning her as the girl stammered she wasn't a monster. The girl introduced herself as Penny, claiming she was just a survivor, scavenging for supplies nearby. Seeing smoke, she came to check and offered them shelter at her nearby hideout. Chu Shunya stayed wary. Just as Lin Mo appeared startled to see a familiar face, Penny confirmed it. Penny called his name, recalling he once bought medicine for Madame Feng, recognizing him by his earrings. Lin Mo awkwardly admitted he indeed was her old acquaintance. Penny happily clung to Lin Mo, told of monster attacks, and invited them all to her shelter. Lin Mo followed, but grew suspicious of the so-called base as Penny led them into the subway tunnels. It was a safe haven underground where many escaped the attack after failing to reach home. Penny said Shed modified it per the station chief's plan to make it a secure refuge. Chu Shunya noticed strange new drawings, while Lin Mo brushed it off as typical Brooklyn art. Chu Shunya disagreed, pointing out the eerie eye symbols were completely new. Penny urged them inside, but Chu Shunya's gaze stayed fixed on the wall markings. Lin Mo gently pulled her along, calling Penny to continue. On the wall lingered a cryptic line about a savior called the Holy Sun. Penny excitedly introduced the underground living space to the newcomers. The subway was now everyone's temporary home, nicknamed New Yorkers like. Lin Mo glanced around, sensing something off in the atmosphere. A man in white was performing a ritual before the eye emblem, then turned to greet Penny and eye the strangers. Penny handed over a supply bag, hurriedly explaining, while the man anxiously asked about the station chief. Footsteps echoed. Penny realized the person they awaited had arrived. The station chief, a blonde policewoman, appeared with guards, scolding Penny for sneaking out. Penny explained her sick brother forced her to gather her quota. She also reported finding and bringing new survivors. She said they were old neighbors who'd lost their homes. Lin Mo silently doubted the leader, while Chu Shunya urged calm. The station chief decided to follow standard intake procedures. Soldiers surrounded them, making Lin Mo tense and demand their intent. The station chief examined him closely. Lin Mo grew wary of her scrutiny. She froze mid-inspection, as if shocked by what she saw. She stammered, recognizing a unique mark that revealed his true identity. Everyone in the station dropped to their knees, chanting, "Welcome to the returning Holy Sun." Lin Mo stood dumbfounded. Unable to grasp their sudden fanaticism, Chu Shunya explained they were from the Prophet Association, not the hostile faction from before. The station chief solemnly declared they'd long awaited the Holy Sun and his guardian saint. She said since Doomsday, they'd been abandoned with no rescue. The walking wooden corpses had also vanished without a trace. At first, she doubted divinity until witnessing something truly supernatural. That was when she first saw the Holy Suns appear with her own eyes. After that event, they followed the Prophet Association, protecting survivors under the Holy Sun's blessing. Before departing, one Holy Sun prophesied that a man with sacred eyes would come here. They believed that prophecy and waited, even when hope seemed futile. The survivors here now sought his protection, the living emblem of their faith. Lin Mo silently looked over the crowd, repeating the word hope in quiet doubt. In this ruined world, hope was the most precious luxury everyone still longed for. Penny stepped forward, bowed, and reverently offered him a sacred gift. He looked down, it was several boxes of food, and wondered silently. The station chief explained it was holy nourishment prepared to sustain the Holy Sun in survival battles. Chu Shunya realized they risked their lives outside just to gather supplies for maintaining the Holy Sun. Someone worried aloud about food shortages but was silenced by the station chief. The station chief dismissed the concern, insisting preserving the Holy Sun came first. Lin Mo watched, feeling as if everyone was controlled by some unseen force. He turned to Chu Shunya, eyes resolute, clearly having made a decision. She quickly grabbed his hand, warning resistance might lose the crowd's trust. He smiled confidently, telling her to trust an experiment like him. He already had a plan. Chu Shunya watched him go, doubtful of what he intended to do. Lin Mo approached the station chief, learning her real name was Hannah, who asked what he wanted. Hannah looked uneasy before his overpowering presence, confirming they saw him as their sole hope. He asked plainly, if he was their hope, what could he truly do to help them? A faint haze of smoke drifted through the tense air. Chu Shunya stood in the shadows, smoking and muttering irritably. She guessed Lin Mo's plan was to build a crop section inside the train car to improve food supply, and to restore electricity and heating to survive the cold underground nights. Had done so much, she joked he was more like a holy mother than a holy son. Now, Lin Mo chuckled, calmly asking, since when kindness became mockery, Chu Shunya snapped that his trust got him killed and sent to this world. Lin Mo denied it gently, saying it was trust, not naivety. She was stunned, staring at him half in disbelief. He continued, saying they believed in him first, and he helped not out of pity. Waving to someone nearby, he added that using his power drained him badly, so the sacred food was indeed necessary. He recalled their first meeting, when she saved him from the heat, her hair long and shining then. Chu Shunya angrily smacked his shoulder, telling him to stop talking nonsense. Lin Mo just grinned, explaining he too needed people working like the Prophet Association, but in a different way. He relied on genuine goodwill, not deceit or coercion, then raised his hand in a victory sign. Chu Shunya got so mad she dropped her cigarette, burning her shirt. Lin Mo burst out laughing, then promised to stop acting clever, but she barked at him to get to the point. He turned serious, repeating her claim that he trusted people too easily. But he disagreed, recounting how Head once been cold, killing to survive, only to be betrayed. He mentioned Ming Ming, who might not have betrayed him if she'd known he truly changed, making Chu Shunya realize why he obsessed over growing plants. Lin Mo said, weakness made people cruel and lost. Thoughts flashed through him. Fear drove people to extremes, selfishness, and despair. He refused to repeat that tragedy here. Chu Shunya smiled, agreeing that human weakness was why they needed each other. His ideal of uniting collective strength and production power was the true key to survival. She asked if she understood him right. She suddenly grabbed his collar, eyes gleaming, hinting if he was the unifier she'd been searching for. She brushed his chin, startling Lin Mo, who awkwardly backed off, asking her to keep some distance. Chu Shunya smirked, saying she just saw him differently now, her precious experiment. Lin Mo blushed and muttered that her idea of distance was already too close. At that moment, Penny came sprinting in like a Naruto run, yelling his name, but she slipped and face-planted miserably on the floor. With cracked glasses, she beamed, saying she'd found something fascinating below. Penny led them to a dark tunnel discovered after restoring the power grid. It used to be a maintenance route, but it looked nothing like a repair tunnel. Lin Mo spotted a strange iron door marked Gate A. Lin Mo asked skeptically, while Chu Shunya smiled knowingly, no doubt about it now. Penny trembled, Wondering if this was the entrance to those creepy New York subway legends, Lin Mo spun her around a few times and pushed her away, telling her to warn others not to come. He and Chu Shunya would check it out. Chu Shunya gleefully pulled out an employee card and slid it into the scanner. The machine sluggishly verified data, prompting her to mock it as a turtleage antique. Lin Mo eyed her suspiciously, asking why she had a card if Shed quit the system. She said Shed retired. But the card wasn't hers, it bore the name and photo of Joanna. Lin Mo stared, asking when she got it. Teasing that no wonder her coworkers hated her, she coolly replied, "If you steal from sheep, you'd better be tough." The machine confirmed access, granted. She opened the door, and Lin Mo stepped back politely, making her laugh and call him a gentleman savior. She flipped a switch, remarking that the electrical system was ancient but luckily had its own power source. Lin Mo asked if she knew what this facility was. She shook her head. Earning his sarcasm, she shot back to just keep watching. Lin Mo leaned toward a vent to peer inside. He wiped the edge dust so thick it proved the place had been abandoned for ages. No signs of frost or ice. He suspected it was due to the underground environment or special heating system. The deeper they went, the more uneasy Lin Mo felt, while Chu Shunya noticed old-fashioned machinery everywhere. Yet the installation style was strangely modern, as if recently expanded. Entering a chamber, Lin Mo froze and gasped in shock. Before them glowed rows of red monitors bearing the emblem of the National Security Bureau. Chu Shunya rushed forward angrily, realizing the agency had hidden a base under civilian grounds. Lin Mo quipped, it looked like it guzzled the whole national budget. A keyboard appeared on the screen, requesting an agreement code. She stepped back, puzzled, then suddenly recalled a crucial keyword, Europa. She typed in Europa Project, and the system instantly verified success. Blue light flooded the room as the screen announced System Update Initialization. Numbers streamed rapidly until the update reached 100. The icebreaker protocol activated, greeting the agent for surviving the apocalyptic winter. Chu Shunya frantically checked the interface, but before she could ask, the AI spoke on its own. It explained the icebreaker was an emergency response system for ice seal events, assisting agents through data analysis and tactical recommendations. The system stated it was located on the Brooklyn line, part of Project Europa Titan, serving as a logistics hub, though most functions remained offline. When the AI mentioned surviving the frozen winter, Chu Shunya suddenly realized the National Security Bureau had known about the global ice catastrophe all along. She slammed the console in fury, enraged by the concealed truth. Her body trembled as she vented rage for the countless lives lost because the government kept silent. Lin Mo watched, sensing her intense emotions hinted at a deep tie with the organization. He glanced back, feeling his power surge, suspecting the Bureau's involvement in hunting espers, and all clues were now aligning. Hundubashi? A random curse slipped out mid-thought. Lin Mo nudged Chu Shunya playfully, teasing, "What are you daydreaming about?" She turned away, her voice low, just remembering a few old things. He echoed, "Old things?" A flood of memories returned after all. They'd survived so much together. He pondered the rational yet complex doctor, strong but fragile, until her sudden question cut him off. "Why are you staring at me?" she asked, startling him. Lin Mo blushed, backing off, stammering that he was just thinking about the past. Just then, the system suddenly blared an alert. Lin Mo sighed in relief, thanking the icebreaker for saving him from the awkward silence, while Chu Shunya immediately ordered a status update. A video feed appeared. The system had detected a massive biological signal at another subway line. She stared, wondering what had happened to that group, but upon seeing a familiar figure, she gasped, "Barbara? Why is she there?" The system announced that group would reach the station in 30 minutes. Chu Shunya frowned. Why was Barbara leading so many here? Could it be tied to the system's activation? She decided to confront her directly. She strode off, and Lin Mo hurried after. Asking what she planned, she calmly said, "Shed meet her old friend for answers." He instantly offered to come along, in case they ran into hollow corpses. But the system warned the tunnel's temperature was dangerously low, requiring large protective suits. Only 2 remained, stored in Section B3. Lin Mo marveled at the system's intelligence, while Chu Shunya grumbled. If it wasn't smart, where did the tax money go? She looked down at her low-battery suit and sighed. It was time to change. In room B3, Lin Mo naively asked, why do I have to wear one too?" Before he finished, Chu Shunya hurled a heavy case straight at his head. He clutched his forehead, whining. "I'm heat-proof, already no need for violence," she replied while gearing up that even if he could handle heat, he still needed stable body temperature or head freeze like an ice pop. She stepped inside to change into the biosafety suit, ultralight, flexible, and adaptable to multiple environments. For Lin Mo, it helped reduce excessive energy output. Meanwhile, the system monitored his physiology to prevent overusing his power. She kept talking, unaware he stood frozen, blushing hard, eyes wide, and had dropped the case entirely. The suit's functions recalled the doctor's own scarred past in his mind. Chu Shunya suddenly froze, catching Lin Mo's gaze. She asked quietly if Head heard a single word she just said. Lin Mo stood frozen, eyes wide with clueless embarrassment. Chu Shunya burst out laughing at his ridiculous reaction. She teased him, lifting his chin, saying his powers hadn't erased his instincts. Blood gushed from his nose, and he fell flat on his back. He was then stuffed with tissues while being helped into the suit, ordered not to move. Everything would stabilize soon, just needed some patience. Feeling something being stuck on him, Lin Mo curiously asked what it was. Chu Shunya explained it was a logo cover to avoid attention from sharp-eyed outsiders. Looking at himself, Lin Mo felt the suit like a second skin and sensed his temperature normalize. They were now fully equipped, ready for the mission ahead. With preparations complete, all that remained was the right moment to depart. Lin Mo joked about her new hairstyle, earning her irritation as she stormed off unaware they were being watched. Outside the subway, an emergency announcement echoed. People in the West Terminal were instructed to move to the East Sector. The Western line would be temporarily closed, and cooperation was requested. Then Hannah prayed for the gods to protect everyone through the harsh winter. She turned to confirm if the information she gave was correct. The Holy Sun just smiled softly, thanked her, and walked away. But she quickly called him back, asking if something was going on in the West Tunnel. He gave a nervous smile, unable to reveal that national security agents were active there. Hannah's eyes flickered with doubt, unconvinced by his vague answer. Lin Mo reassured her the lockdown was temporary and would soon be lifted. Hannah unexpectedly handed him a communication device to assist with the mission. She urged him to keep it with him during operations. The device had its frequency tuned for constant contact. She then mentioned one more important matter. Hannah stepped closer and adjusted his band, exposing the Security Bureau emblem. She affirmed her absolute trust in him. Since the other Holy Sons had departed, only he still brought them hope. Even though he promised not to run again, Hannah's eyes showed she saw through him. This time, Hannah gripped his shoulders with heartfelt gratitude, reluctant to let go. She prayed for divine protection before they both entered the pitch-black tunnel. Power cut. Relying only on flashlights, they reached the inspection zone per plan. Chu Shunya was about to warn him, but noticed Lin Mo tinkering with something he was trying to fix the lights. Thanks to his otherworldly experience, he believed he could handle it, but the result was just a few faintly flickering bulbs in the dark. Lin Mo explained about the new subway line, while she mocked New York's ancient systems, slightly bruising his ego. Suddenly, Chu Shunya gestured for silence, signaling ahead. Lin Mo stiffened as he spotted something abnormal. A group of people moved lifelessly, as if waiting for something unseen. Most looked like civilians, and Chu Shunya soon recognized a familiar face. It was Barbara. Without hesitation, she rushed forward, demanding why Barbara had brought civilians here, but Lin Mo quickly stopped her. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. They had been heading toward the platform, but now everyone had turned their backs, a sight deeply unsettling. Barbara's body trembles and slowly turns closer. That thing is no longer human. It's a hollow corpse with blank eyes and blue blood spilling from a torn body. Zhou Shunya freezes in shock at the sight. Lin Mo rushes in to warn her about the danger of the hollow. Barbara morphs into a grotesque creature riddled with bullet holes. The moans from the hollows make the air even creepier. Zhou Shunya reloads her gun without pause. Lin Mo snarks that her slip of the hand emptied the whole magazine. The once friendly coworker is now a heartless thing. She looks at the remaining civilians, realizing Barbara was just a puppet copy. The corpses chant soulless words like an eerie echo. They suddenly tear apart, revealing strange holes inside. A blinding light erupts amid the chaos. Lin Mo shields his eyes as vision fades. Zhou Shunya struggles to stand but finally turns away. The light floods everything. Then darkness whispers in her mind. Don't look back. Two familiar colleagues appear beside her, like echoes from memory. They gift her earrings for her birthday, saying they suit her best. The gift was 3D printed by Team Red, denied both holiday and bonus. Zhou Shunya smiles gratefully before everything dissolves like a dream. Lin Mo opens his eyes, bitterly noting that light always comes first, nothing outruns it. But he freezes as clones of Zhou Shunya point guns at each other, each claiming to be real. The copies repeat, "I'm real," turning the scene into madness. Lin Mo squints, head pounding at the chaos. The echoes of Zhou Shunya's voices blur truth and illusion. Suddenly, one rips the earring from her ear decisively. She throws it to Lin Mo, who catches it fast. It's Zhou Shunya's signature earring, familiar and distinct. He realizes it's not mere jewelry, but a true survival tool. Seeing the real Zhou Shunya smiling with a bleeding ear, he admires her ruthless resolve. He charges into the clones, knowing only brute force can reveal the truth. With a ground-shaking strike, He crushes the fakes, blue blood marks them as hollows. Jo Shunya looks at him meaningfully, as if wanting to speak. She complains that monster blood somehow always splashes on her. Linmo laughs and apologizes, saying he can't control the spray. Another object flies toward him, it's a second earring. He catches it, puzzled why she's giving another one. She coldly says she meant to throw it away 3 years ago. Might as well hand it over now. Her words sting Linmo. It feels like being treated as living trash. But Jo Shunya's eyes suddenly soften with hidden emotion. He senses it too, wondering what untold story lies behind those earrings. But now's not the time to dig deeper. They must find why the hollows appeared here. Jo Shunya kneels, reminding him to focus and help her search for something. It's a core, like a blister he's seen before. She explains it's the substance once absorbed by the parasite inside him, sparking his curiosity. She reminds him of the hollow hound that attacked the apartment, the same one he defeated. Linmo confirms the original had a clear core. In other words, without a core, they're just kin born from a stronger host. Back to the creatures here, she concludes they're kin, since no cores were found after death. Linmo mutters something, making Jo Shunya glance back. He deduces the corpses weren't random. Someone placed them here to sow chaos, exploiting mimicry to control crowds. Suddenly, a cat under someone's skirt yowls angrily, shattering the tension. It snaps like it's offended. What kind of joke are you people playing? No one knows what on earth the cat is talking about. Linmo and Jo Shunya spin around, ready to fight. A strange girl stands before them. Irina appears, furious that her mimic network's coordination has been ruined, demanding their identities. At that moment, her headset crackles. Someone asks what's going on. Irina snaps back, saying she had it handled until 2 random nobodies stole her mission. The voice panics. National Security Agency? She fumes. One looks normal, the other's too weird to describe. Jo Shunya frowns at the rude tone, while Linmo freezes, baffled at being called a passionate little sister. The voice on the other end seems to realize something crucial. So that's it, they murmur, as if his identity just clicked. Irina loses patience, screaming and locking on to Linmo as target number 1. The operator warns her the speaker forbade interference with that man, but she ignores it, shouting over him. She rants that everyone else's plans go fine while hers are ruined. She rips off her headset, crushes it underfoot, ignoring the desperate voice calling back. Now she doesn't care anymore, screaming madly, vowing to destroy everyone. She charges like a firestorm, attacking without thought. Jo Shunya fires immediately, but it's useless. The bullets vanish on contact, as if hitting air. Irina shifts her attack toward Linmo, roaring for his life. But when her strike is blocked with ease, she only snorts in frustration. Linmo's body begins to glow, his aura sharpens, eyes cold and fierce. No need to dodge anymore, he mutters, as a black veil forms around him like living armor. Irina freezes for a split second. Something's wrong. This isn't like anything she's seen, it's entirely different. Has fully merged with the armor, no longer human. Jo Shunya is stunned, the experiment has evolved again. Linmo glances at his body, feeling it's completely different from the past 2 transformations. A voice in his head, the parasite, says it's now fully fused with the suit, forming the first complete union. He jokes, finally decided to show up, huh? But the voice warns of a greater threat approaching. Just then, a bizarre tail sprouts from Irina's back. She smirks. You're not the only one evolving. A layer of green slime engulfs her, forming a glimmering yet grotesque armor as her aura surges. With hair flying wildly, she roars, show your real power. I'll beat it into your memory. Without hesitation, Irina charges like a storm, leaving Linmo speechless. She only thinks about fighting. He muses that, in the apocalypse, keeping this hot-blooded girl energy is rare, then readies himself. As she closes in, Irina whips out a gun and fires straight at him. But Linmo slices every bullet into 3 tiny fragments with 2 swift moves. That only enrages her further. She unloads a rain of bullets. Cursing non-stop, he calmly counters, teasing she's like a stray cat. She leaps and fires from behind, shouting profanities, while he dodges effortlessly, complaining about her lack of manners. Irina spins and kicks hard, yelling he shouldn't butt in, but he dodges easily, spotting her opening. Taking the chance, Linmo lunges, slashing at her stomach with sharp claws. Irina gasps at his lightning-fast reaction, but the strike is blocked by a blue glow, a special shield from her body. The parasite hops onto Linmo's back, grabs his horns, reminding him Irina blocked that same move before. The barrier isn't a normal shield. Irina spits out a sword, catches it with her foot, and dives in again. He leaps aside, yet her attacks keep coming relentlessly. Jo Shunya suddenly appears behind, supporting Linmo's back, and claiming she's figured out the shield's nature. She explains if it were a true barrier, bullets would have been destroyed, but they were only deflected, meaning it's redirected molecular interaction. She adds that Irina manipulates the molecular forces between herself and the environment, even the air. Lin Mo looks at his hand. Something strange is happening. His fingertips turn red, a sign of a new mutation. He asks if that molecular force can be converted into energy, and Zhou Shunya admits, theoretically yes. Lin Mo smiles slyly. Noticing his claws growing longer, he's figured out how to break the barrier. Hearing that, Zhou Shunya tenses and rushes forward, afraid he's about to do something reckless. But before she can finish, Irina attacks again with her sword, shouting, "What the hell are you babbling about?" Lin Mo dodges easily, blocking with his red claws just as he predicted. Irina counters with a brutal kick, forcing him up to the next level. She leaps back, keeping distance, mocking that he finally couldn't dodge. Lin Mo's face hardens, eyes cold and razor-sharp. "Had enough chaos?" he says icily. "If so, it's my turn." Lin Mo launches himself straight at her. Lin Mo's powerful kick is blocked by Irina, her blue aura shimmering, her reflexes terrifyingly sharp. But he smirks if he can nullify the interaction field. Her speed means nothing. Before the thought finishes, Irina's attacked from two sides. Two Lin Mo's appear at once. "Cloning?" she gasps. But no. Not after images, he's just that fast. Beyond normal reaction, like someone she once met, Irina suddenly notices something off the red glow. Unbelievably, her energy is being absorbed. To her eyes, Lin Mo now looks like a vampire demon, mercilessly draining her power. From afar, Zhou Shunya finally grasps his real strategy, its piezoelectric conversion. She explains when matter is under pressure, crystal polarization generates electricity, and a gifted body works the same way. Each strike, though not penetrating, creates stress that can turn into energy if repeated below the breaking limit. That means the shield not only blocks attacks, but becomes its own energy source for the enemy. With hyperspeed saturation strikes, Lin Mo turns the barrier into a generator, stealing Irina's energy as his own, finally piercing through her body, blue blood splattering, proof that no shield in existence is truly unbreakable. Irina grits her teeth, feeling pain for the first time, eyes twitching with hate. "Damn you, why ruin our plan?" Lin Mo, hand still through her, growls, "What plan? What are you people scheming?" Getting no answer, he presses on angrily. "The Hollows, the monsters, the Feng gang, it's all you're doing, isn't it?" Irina laughs weakly, scoffing, "Ha, you know nothing." From her wound, branches burst out, coiling tightly around Lin Mo. A gentle yet icy hand touches his face. "Then look, see the truth you crave." Lin Mo shudders as the world around him wavers, her memories linking with his. A voice echoes in his mind. "Look, see the truth you wanted." Light flares, then darkness swallows all, leaving him horrified. The scene reforms Brooklyn, before the freeze but not as he remembers. He looks down to a strange, silent, misty scene. That's Agent Y from the Security Bureau holding a bleeding Bridges, while behind him a woman collapses. As he analyzes, he looks up, someone's being held at gunpoint. It's Irina, but another version. Long hair, eyes cold as ice, murderous. She's the one who once had that same power. This must be the buried memory she forced him to witness. Beside her, a door appears, glowing with the same energy that now surrounds Lin Mo. When it opens, inside plays a memory, Irina speaking with a mysterious man who grants her control of the subway station's people, saying they're more useful alive. She reluctantly agrees the man is the speaker. Suddenly, the man in the memory turns his head, staring straight at Lin Mo, as if aware of the intruder watching. Lin Mo freezes. This memory isn't static anymore. The speaker's face looks exactly like his, but half demonic. He smiles faintly. "So, the rat sneaks into my house." A rush of chaotic thoughts. Why is he here? Is this man another version of himself? Finally, he asks, "Who are you?" The man just laughs, saying Lin Mo already knows the answer. Lin Mo admits it. This is the body's true owner, his parallel universe self. He trembles. "Why are you still alive?" The man mocks. "You thought possessing my body erased my soul? Too bad it's not that simple." He opens his coat, and his flesh peels away, revealing warped bones and tendons, a chained half-demon form. He explains he rebuilt himself using the hollow corpse. Lin Mo abandoned this half-mutant state, lets him meet him now. Lin Mo is stunned. Those old scars were from La Dai Long killing him, and this power lets him speak through memories. When Lin Mo asks about the plan, the speaker laughs mockingly. In a flash, he appears right behind him. He whispers, "We must accelerate the frost process." His arm passes through Lin Mo's body like air. "Don't misunderstand, we're out of time. Consider this corpse a welcome gift." Everything fades into darkness. When Lin Mo opens his eyes, he's back. Irina, still flipping him off despite being impaled, sneering, "I get it now. You don't get anything." He kicks her hard, slamming her into the wall, forcing her back to normal. He points a gun at her head, frowning. When did she even steal that weapon? Without wasting words, he warns her not to use powers. Most of her energy's gone. "Now talk. What does accelerate the frost process mean?" Irina glares, shocked he knows, demanding where he got that info. Lin Mo tightens his grip, saying coldly, "I'll ask one last time." He orders her to answer immediately. Irina steadies herself, warning him not to lose control. She reveals their leader, the mastermind behind the accelerated freezing, kept the details secret but promised to send her back to the past, so she agreed. She grins wickedly, speaking of revenge and mutual gain, not caring what chaos faster freezing brings. Zhou Shunya steps forward, shocked by her indifference, glancing toward the medic for confirmation. Irina mocks them as if the apocalypse wouldn't happen without their interference. Shuya tilts her head, questioning her faith in doomsday. Calling it hypocrisy, Irina still argues, citing the Ice Age as proof. Shuya smiles, calling Irina a lab rat, then asks Lin Mo's opinion. He gets the hint, laughs. No matter how little time they have, they must stop them. Irina scoffs loudly, saying their resistance is pathetic and hopeless. They ignore her, demanding details about brainwashing survivors into labor tools. Irina reacts violently, not realizing her words are heard by all. She declares outright the weak deserve servitude, and even after ruin, they'll still obey. Lin Mo activates the radio, confirming everyone heard her confession. Irina freezes, realizing her fatal mistake. Hannah immediately responds from Security HQ, confirming receipt of all data. She assures every line of the conversation has been fully recorded. Additionally, all data was broadcast throughout the New York subway network. Every citizen received the transmission, no one was left out. Lin Mo steps forward, repeating his earlier question as a sharp retort. It's only the beginning. The crowd erupts in anger, abandoning old faiths. Hannah removes her emblem, shocked by betrayal. He tells Irina their goal is to shatter the illusions her side spread. Zhou Shunya reluctantly praises him, calling him a clever test subject. Lin Mo, slightly offended, says he's not stupid, just someone who's lived twice. Irina suddenly laughs, eyes glowing bright, saying it's too late. She screams in rage, warning they're already too slow. The two panic, aiming their guns, thinking her energy drained, unsure what's happening. Turns out half an hour earlier, while Lin Mo was talking, the Saint had issued a secret command. He looks at the badge on his shoulder, puzzled why Hannah didn't expose it. Before leaving, he turns to Hannah with a serious question, demanding honesty. He doubts her loyalty to the Prophet Society. Hannah keeps playing her role, replying mechanically like a programmed doll, until Lin Mo cuts her off with a sharp no. He orders her to answer with her heart, insisting she knows what he means. Hannah freezes, eyes widening in shock. Then she closes them, as if making a choice. She confesses she only trusts Lin Mo, not the society she's been forced to maintain order while the masses still believe in it. She mocks herself a dancer in a seductive outfit, turned the last icon of control in a dying world. Lin Mo reassures her she's not pitiful nor ridiculous, but admirable for always helping others. He says without her, the station would have collapsed long ago. He reminds her she once said she wanted to escape the Prophet Society too. That's why they must expose the organization's truth together. She only needs to cooperate. Before leaving, Lin Mo smiles, asking her to stop calling him Saint and use his real name instead. Back in the present, he and Zhou Shunya panic as Irina tries to flee, forcing them to open fire. Bullets strike, sending Irina crashing down in agony. But before it's over, her aura explodes violently, releasing a shockwave that halts them both. Lin Mo stares in shock at the strange phenomenon before him. As the light erupts, he pulls Zhou Shunya out of danger's reach. He exhales, muttering how close they came to disaster. She stares blankly at the wreckage, reminded of their previous battle. She instantly recognizes it, the same enertransfer drug mentioned before. Outside, Cross carries Irina along a blood-soaked street. She groans, while he tells her to shut up. Even magic can't fix this. Irina whispers an apology, making Cross chuckle so she can feel remorse. She flips him off weakly, telling him not to get cocky. She mumbles fragmented words about failure, begging him to keep it secret from Han Kanyu. He comforts her, telling her to rest. Meanwhile, Lin Mo and Zhou Shunya stand awkwardly, unsure how to handle the heavy atmosphere. Something deeply wrong is spreading around them. Lin Mo reaches out to the people nearby, but they recoil, eyes wary. He stammers, asking why they're acting like this. It turns out everyone is terrified of him. Zhou Shunya steps forward, gently saying, he must have guessed the reason by now. Lin Mo glances at the gem he carries, finally understanding. Broken faith breeds deep doubt. When trust dies, fear and suspicion thrive, especially in the apocalypse. Hess felt that himself before, so he knows it all too well. He tries to calm them, saying the zombies are tools of the Prophet Society to control people. He's nothing like them. But one man snaps, aren't you the Saint too? Another tries to hush him. Lin Mo stays calm, explaining they're just scared, not trying to rebel. He insists he's nothing like that organization and doesn't seek power. But the man keeps provoking, demanding proof. The girl beside him worries, Shunya suggests acting, but he refuses. He knows any violence now would only deepen panic and destroy what trust remains. Shuya frowns, asking what he plans to do then. He realizes if this drags on, the crowd will collapse from within, just as he once did. Then, a gunshot. Hannah appears, demanding silence. He turns in shock. The crowd bows their heads, reverently calling her name. Hannah speaks solemnly, almost radiant with divine light. She recalls the prophecy when catastrophe comes, God shall return in mortal form as a savior. She muses that if God truly came as human, no one could tell real from false, making it easy for evil to exploit faith. She says, God still loves humanity, but people are blinded by lies, unable to see his presence. Lin Mo doubts her intentions, but Shunya holds him back. At least the crowd is quiet. Hannah soothes them, saying, all are children of God. The agitator trembles, murmuring, God loves me. Others echo, affirming divine compassion. The group hums like a hymn, chanting in unison of God's love. Hannah asks, then who is the true Messiah? She reminds them, God once gave food, taught farming, sustained mankind. He also granted fire and warmth to survive the harsh winters. If any among us can do the same. Hannah turns to Lin Mo, then you are the Messiah everyone's been seeking. The crowd whispers, Messi. Lin Mo finally understands her message. Penny rushes over, singing excitedly, it's him. She recounts how he fixed the heaters, improved the train cars, and ended the famine. Hannah continues, affirming he exposed evil plots and rekindled hope. The crowd gazes at him like a saint, light surrounding him, chanting, Savior. Shuya glances at Hannah, eyes glimmering with admiration. The cries of Messi grow louder, echoing through the tunnels. The people slowly disperse in order, while Lin Mo looks at Hannah gratefully. He thanks her sincerely for stepping in at the right moment. She smiles, still composed. Then she suddenly asks, Lin, how will you repay me? She emphasizes as Lin Mo the man, or Messi the savior. He laughs, calling it a test, and says he's just human like everyone else. Hannah smiles softly, relieved, affirming that he truly is someone special. She steps forward to shake hands and express sincere thanks, but she also wants to offer a little advice. Hannah leans in and whispers that sometimes you must speak in ways others can accept. Lin Mo repeats her words, looking dazed in thought. Hannah explains, most refugees are religious, so to change them, one must understand their faith, then hints timing is key, just like what she did. Lin Mo nods in grasp. Chu Shunya remarks that fools only see pain without realizing the value within suffering. The wise know their essence and place, so idiots must be guided to find hope in despair. Hannah glances at Shunya, seeming to agree, while Lin Mo still looks puzzled. Hannah shifts topic, excuses herself, and leaves the two behind. Lin Mo watches her go, then asks Shunya if he's misunderstood something. She glances at him and shoots back, whether he's the one misunderstanding. He laughs it off. They head to the underground base. Shunya quickly steers back to the main topic. She asks what the next plan is. Though the refugees have awakened, their living conditions remain unstable. One mishap could spark chaos. Lin Mo catches on, guessing Shunya already has a detailed plan. She doesn't answer directly, saying she found an unactivated shelter section in the base design. It has power, medical, and production systems, basically a self-sustaining zone for a long ice age. Lin Mo agrees, seeing it as a survival hub, then recalls Ri and the group in Manhattan. Suddenly, the alarm picks up an emergency signal. The screen shows a filthy, terrified Maggie. Lin Mo and Shunya freeze, recognizing the girl from before. Maggie's trembling voice pleads for help. She and her mother are surrounded by monsters. The image flickers and weakens. Meanwhile, in Chinatown, the scene is the opposite, people cheerfully celebrating the new year in warmth. In an apartment, a phone keeps ringing. A messy hand reaches out, grumbling about the rude awakening. Lin Mo reluctantly sits up and answers, still half asleep. On the line, Shunya, out shopping, teases that it's rare for him to pick up. She jokingly calls him Chinatown's No. 1 detective. He brews coffee, complaining she only says that when trouble's coming. He adds he's off duty for Lunar New Year and plans to hang up. Hearing that, Shunya yells in panic, begging him not to. She insists it's a critical mission that can't wait. Lin Mo snaps, shouting that she's fooled him with urgent cases too many times. Shunya hurriedly soothes him. She promises it's real, this time, and a big case that could clear his loan shark debts in one go. She reminds him how Ladailong's recent visit still haunts him, making Lin Mo surrender. He asks for the meeting spot. Shunya smirks victoriously and says at the Owl Cafe. As usual, they meet there to see the client for this case. A blonde man hands over a card, introducing himself as Kurt Cobain, rep of the alien version of Dick Doc. He calls Lin Mo Chinatown's No. 1 detective, saying Chu Shunya recommended him. Shunya apologizes for Lin Mo's blunt nature. Kurt explains that Ming Ming is their star with 5 million followers. set to live stream on Lunar New Year to thank fans. But today they can't reach her, and the police are useless, so they need special help. He begs Lin Mo to find her. The stream is vital. Money's no issue. He even drops a fat deposit. When the bag opens, both Lin Mo and Shunya's eyes sparkle. Lin asks for the exact timing. The rep confirms the tight schedule. The stream can't be cancelled. Lin grumbles but agrees. He tells Shunya to record the case details and confirms the job. They rush to Ming Ming's apartment, Lin saying his gut tells him this is where the clues lie. He casually picks the lock despite Kurt's legal worries. Snapping that silence helps find people faster. Inside, Lin instantly grabs a diary and reads. Kurt panics, reminding him it's private property. It says Ming Ming hates working on New Year, wants to go home, and quit after the holiday. Lin points out they'll have to search across the planet. Kurt turns pale. Ming Ming gone home means the stream's doomed. He frantically asks what to do now. In despair, he hugs Lin Mo's leg, sobbing that if the show's cancelled, the company's broke and can't pay. Lin shoves him off, annoyed. But Lin freezes. Wait, no live stream means no money at all? Kurt nods miserably. Shunya jumps in, yelling to think of the debt. They're all grasshoppers on the same rope. Lin sighs and agrees. Kurt cheers up. Lin sneers fine, but the fee's going up. Back at the company, Shunya and Kurt team up to turn Lin Mo into Ming Ming. Hez transforms so perfectly it's uncanny. Lin screams at the prank, asking why Shunya isn't doing it. She looks down at her belly and says she's too fat. Grimacing at the streaming setup, Lin accuses them of scheming. Shunya teases she's just an honest middlewoman, while Kurt tweaks the tech. The new AI system adjusts skin, face, and voice thanks to his build. Lin becomes a flawless Ming Ming clone. Shunya flashes an OK sign proudly. Lin forces a smile and copies her. The stream begins, no turning back. He plays the role smoothly, greeting fans, wishing New Year, selling products, thanking donors, even flirting with Big Dragon. Suddenly, Kurt's face drains. He forgot something crucial. Aside from selling, there's a special performance suggested by Ming Ming's. No, one fan, and that's trouble. That fan is Chinatown's gang boss, the man who slaughtered the Yamaguchi family and Lin's loan shark, La Dailong. Lin covers his face, praying if it's really La Dailong, he's dead meat. La Dailong grabs Kurt, demanding Ming Ming's whereabouts. Kurt feigns ignorance, and Lin exhales in relief. But La Dailong starts inspecting the stream room when a thug shouts for him to look. La Dailong stares at the live video of Ming Ming on his phone. He lifts his head, utterly confused and stunned. Seeing the unfamiliar face, he crumbles, realizing the painful truth: Ming Ming isn't real. His goons rush to console him, advising to let go. Online love is risky. Women distract, but men don't. Meanwhile, the real Lin Mo is in a New York lab where the ideal timeline unfolds. He jumps down to a glass tube holding half a girl's body and asks for confirmation. He mocks her by calling the humiliating name Test Subject Red Deer 13. He states she's essential for their future plan. What they seek is power born from rage. After Lin Mo's escape, he's believed to be hiding in a refugee camp under Manhattan's National Security Bureau. An injured old man is brought to the medical ward by Joanna. His blood type is AB. The medic assures him treatment was timely, nothing to fear. Elsewhere, Gao Di commands his team to counter monster attacks with heavier firepower and defense. At that moment, Barbara arrives angrily, and Gao Di instantly recognizes her voice. Without hesitation, she kicks at him in fury. He dodges just in time, tries to explain, and tells subordinates to leave. Barbara notices he's grabbed her leg mid-kick. She snaps, demanding he let go, right now. They argue fiercely until an agent interrupts, requesting to see Coben outside. The agent hands Coben a red ID card, new credentials for an awakened operative, by Superior's order. Coben accepts it, pauses thoughtfully, then thanks him softly. He tells himself he's still the good version of who he once was. He then asks Xiaobai a question about past identity, with a friendly tone. Xiaobai ponders, realizing Coben's doubts mirror his own experiences. Coben sighs, saying Xiaobai probably can't grasp his feelings, and tells him to loosen up. He leaves to file a report, saying to treat their talk as a light joke. Suddenly, Huai calls his name, making him stop and turn. Huai says he completely understands Coben's, meaning even feels it in the wind. He admits he's not a B.A.D. boys member, but also haunted by his past, wishing it were all a dream. Just then, a sweet voice cuts in. It's Agent Huai speaking again. A purple-haired woman appears, introducing herself as Marguerite Bells-Brigis, NYPD detective, thanking Agent Huai for his help. He awkwardly salutes, but Bridges gently declines, saying formality isn't needed between cop and civilian. Huai lowers his hand, explaining its old habit, while Coben watches suspiciously. Bridges smiles, explaining she came after hearing of a survivor in Brooklyn, assuring there's no major issue. She says civilians are evacuated and requests coordination once medical checks are done. Huai watches her leave, thinking she's truly dedicated. Bridges turns back, saying someone has to act in times like this. Her words trail off, heavy with unspoken emotion. She sneezes. Huai moves to help, but she refuses, deepening Cabin's suspicion. She chuckles softly, assuring she's fine, then walks on. She asks him whether soldiers on the battlefield must always wait for orders. He avoids her gaze, replying evasively, clearly used to it. Bridges glances at the Statue of Liberty behind, saying she hopes the lady will slowly accept this new reality. Huai nods lightly in agreement with that thought. Meanwhile, on Liberty Island, the National Security Agency headquarters, the atmosphere is tense. An agent enters to report to Gao Di, who sternly puts down his phone to hear the crucial update. The meeting room door is shut tight for confidentiality. The agent carefully closes it, as Gao Di brings up another grave issue concerning Balorza. Though Subject Zero escaped, he reports Balorza's location has been found and relayed to superiors. Outside, Barbara sees the closed door, frowns in annoyance, and walks away without asking.